Chapter 126. 90 of Hado, Black Coffin. Words fall. I only saw that fourth Reikage had just rushed out not long ago. On his head, a huge black coffin instantly appeared. Black coffin fell from the sky. Instantly envelopes fourth Reikage. Before fourth Reikage could even react, the lightning all over his body was completely swallowed by black coffin. Then, the energy in the black coffin surged and chakra circulated. Violent fluctuations are coming from inside. Bang! Black coffin fades away. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw that the figure of the fourth generation Reikage appeared. It's just that at this moment, fourth Reikage doesn't have the lightning chakra on his body at all. On the contrary, the originally strong body was already covered in blood at this moment, with wounds all over his body, as if he had suffered great devastation. Now he looks even worse than Inoki. After being shrouded and destroyed by the black coffin, fourth Reikage couldn't bear it any longer. He spat out a mouthful of blood, his eyes were blurred, and he lost consciousness immediately. Fourth Reikage, fiasco. Seeing this scene, everyone present widened their eyes. They couldn't believe that the two shadow fighters shot together, but they couldn't do anything to Naruto. Not only that, after the loss of third Tsuchikage, fourth Reikage also ended miserably. Two people, the sum is not Naruto's game. This simply made them unbelievable. These are the two shadows of the ninja world. If the strongest of Cloud Shinobi's village and the strongest Tsuchikage of Rock Shinobi are not Naruto's opponents, even these two long-established veterans, who else can subdue Naruto? After defeating fourth Reikage and Tsuchikage, Naruto also looked at the people around him indifferently. The indifferent eyes glanced at everyone, and then they heard Naruto say indifferently, "Now, does anyone still want to do something to me?" The voice was so cold that everyone couldn't help shivering after hearing it. All the people present were silent. What a joke. Even two people as powerful as Reikage and Tsuchikage are not Naruto's opponent together. How could the rest of them deal with Naruto? Uchiha Obito also squinted his eyes. He didn't seem to expect that Naruto was so powerful. But this still didn't make him change his mind, and next, Akatsuki will still start the Ninja World War. Seeing that no one responded, Naruto nodded, and immediately looked at Uchiha Obito. Next, there it is. Akatsuki's purpose is to collect tailed beasts, including the 9 tails in his body, so naturally he can't sit idly by. Uchiha Obito was stunned when he noticed Naruto's gaze, and immediately let out a deep laugh. Very well, I didn't expect 9 tails Jinchuriki to grow to this extent. However, this still can't stop Akatsuki's footsteps. In 3 days, all members of Akatsuki will launch a general attack on the ninja world. At that time, the Ninja World War will start completely. Uzumaki Naruto, the outcome between you and me will be decided at that time. During this time, you can think about it, whether you want to join Akatsuki. As soon as Obito finished speaking, Naruto snorted coldly without hesitation and said, "Don't think about it. When the time comes, I will kill Xiao Xiao as much as possible." Hearing Naruto's strong voice, Uchiha Obito was also taken aback, as if he hadn't expected it. However, Uchiha Obito soon realized that he laughed wildly. The Scarlet Sharingan turned around, stared at Naruto, and said, "Okay, very good. If that's the case, see you in 3 days." After finishing speaking, there was a violent spatial fluctuation around Uchiha Obito. Immediately, Uchiha Obito's entire body was sucked into the different space and left the conference room. Seeing the disappearing figure of Uchiha Obito, Naruto squinted his eyes and did not stop him. He knew that the real mastermind was not Uchiha Obito. Even if he left Uchiha Obito at this moment, it would not help. That being the case, let's see the outcome of the Ninja World War in 3 days' time. Naruto took a deep breath. However, at this moment, the people of the 5 major countries in the conference room were full of shock and panic. Because, after hearing Uchiha Obito's words, they realized that they have a terrible enemy. That is Akatsuki. Moreover, 3 days later, Akatsuki will launch a general attack on the ninja world. This made everyone panic even more. Ask for flowers. Now that 4th Reikage and 3rd Tsuchikage have been defeated by Naruto, Konoha's agent Hokage has also been killed by Naruto. Who else can carry the banner? However, what they were worried about had nothing to do with Naruto. Naruto doesn't care about the life and death of the 4 major ninja villages. On the contrary, he is also very happy to see the situation where the 4 great ninja villages and Akatsuki fight. Only in this way can the 4 great ninja villages know that the era of peace is over. And next, he will also make a move. The transformation of the ninja world is about to begin. After Uchiha Obito left, Terumi May also came to Naruto. and after seeing that Naruto was safe and sound, she exhaled and asked softly, "Naruto, what shall we do next?" Zero hearing Terumi Mei's words, Naruto smiled slightly and said, "It's okay, leave it to me. Let's find a place to rest first." After hearing this, Terumi Mei nodded reassuringly. Immediately, the two walked out. After seeing Naruto go out, everyone in the conference room breathed out. Everyone looked at each other in blank dismay, seeing the complexity and shock in each other's eyes. The meeting of the five shadows has been held to this point, and it is also declared to be over. No, it should be said, like a joke. The five shadows of the five major ninja villages gather together, but they can't do anything to Naruto. Instead, they were defeated by Naruto and went out in an open and honest manner. In the huge conference room, no one dared to do anything to Naruto. It's a joke when it gets out, and Naruto will definitely make a sensation in the ninja world. It will shock the whole ninja world. This battle has completely become famous. The reputation resounds in every corner of the ninja world. Since then, no one can believe it. Back then, at the meeting of the five shadows, a young man broke in alone, and after defeating the three shadows, he left unharmed. No one can do such a feat. After everyone looked at each other, they all sighed, feeling powerless. Because, next, they faced not only Naruto, also Shao, a ninja war. 3 days later, the changes in the ninja world began. Chapter 127. After Naruto left the conference room was already in chaos. The envoys and guards of the major powers were anxiously thinking about how to deal with the next battle. In particular, when the content of the Five Kages conference was spread, the ninja world was even more chaotic. No one expected that the Five Kages meeting of the five great ninja villages gathered to discuss how to deal with Nine-Tails Jinchuriki and Akatsuki, but at this moment, it became the beginning of the Fourth Ninja World War. I never thought that the Fourth Ninja World War would come so soon. 3 days left. 3 days later, it will be the Ninja World War. Immediately, the countries in the ninja world were very busy, and there were many discussions. Whether it is a big country or a small country, war is inevitable. Next, they need to discuss in detail how to deal with the strategy of the ninja war. Naruto also found a hotel with 190 Terumi Mei. Tell Terumi Mei about his next plan. Terumi Mei stood up to defend himself in the Five Kages meeting, so he naturally couldn't sit idly by, and would help Terumi Mei keep Kirigakure. After talking with Terumi Mei, Naruto also rested at the hotel. After successive battles, Naruto's chakra also consumed a lot. Next, he needs to take a good rest and adjust his state. Terumi Mei also knew that Naruto was a little tired. She saw all the battle just now, and couldn't help feeling sorry for Naruto. So, Terumi Mei sat beside Naruto very intimately, very quietly, did not disturb Naruto, and waited for Naruto to rest. However, just because Terumi Mei doesn't bother, doesn't mean others won't bother. Just when Naruto arrived at the hotel to rest for half a day, suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Terumi Mei was taken aback. Naruto also opened his eyes, somewhat puzzled. Who will come to them? I'll take a look, Terumi Mei said. Naruto nodded. Immediately, Terumi Mei got up and walked to the door. Opening the door, a blonde beauty came into view. The blonde beauty is tall, with slender legs and a plump figure. Seeing this blonde beauty, Terumi Mei was taken aback for a moment, a little surprised, and her eyes showed surprise. This blonde beauty is none other than Cloud Shinobi Jonin, Samui, who appeared at the Five Kages meeting not long ago. Seeing that it was Terumi Mei who opened the door, Samui parted her red lips in surprise. Then, Samuel asked, "Is Naruto here?" Terumi Mei frowned after hearing Samui's words, as if she was a little disgusted with Samui's arrival. After all, Naruto fought Cloud Shinobi's Raikage not too long ago. Not here, Terumi Mei said coldly. After speaking, she was about to close the door. Just when Terumi Mei was about to close the door, Samui hurriedly stopped Terumi Mei, watched with beautiful eyes and shouted, "I have something to discuss with Naruto." Terumi Mei frowned. Before she could speak, she suddenly heard a familiar voice beside her. "What's up?" All I saw was that Naruto had appeared in front of Terumi Mei at some point, looking at Samui indifferently. Seeing Samui's arrival, Naruto was also a little puzzled, not knowing what this blonde beauty came to him for. "Naruto, she is Cloud Shinobi's ninja," Terumi Mei said softly. "I know, it's okay, let me talk to her," Naruto said. Seeing this, Terumi Mei could only nod her head and snorted. "Tell you, don't try to play tricks," Terumi Mei warned Samui. Samui also ignored Terumi Mei, but set her eyes on Naruto, her beautiful eyes staring deeply. After Tsurume left, Naruto looked at Samui and asked suspiciously, "What can you do with me?" After seeing Naruto appear, Sammy also took a deep breath, looking at Naruto with extremely serious and complicated eyes. Then, Samuel bit her red lips lightly and said with determination, "I came to you to resolve the conflict between you and our Cloud Shinobi village." The five Kages meeting this time was planned by Danzo, and our Cloud Shinobi also fell into Danzo's plot. "Master Fourth Raikage will offend you so much, and I hope you will forgive me. Next, we hope to live in peace with you and survive the Fourth Ninja World War." After hearing Samui's words, Naruto looked at Samui in surprise. Unexpectedly, Cloud Shinobi Village came to ask for peace so soon. It's no wonder that Fourth Raikage was defeated by himself, and then they will face the Fourth Ninja World War launched by Akatsuki. Whether it is Naruto or Akatsuki, they are all existences that make the big countries fear. If you deal with these two behemoths one after another, even Cloud Shinobi Village has to carefully weigh the serious consequences it will bring. But Naruto did not agree to Samui, but said lightly, "Peace? What does this have to do with me? It's you Cloud Shinobi who want to arrest me." Hearing Naruto's words, the blonde beauty Samui quickly said, "Our Cloud Shinobi Village will no longer be hostile to you. Please trust me. In order to express my sincerity, I will follow you as a hostage." Naruto was taken aback, looked at Sammy in astonishment, and asked, "Hostage?" Samuel blushed slightly, nodded shyly, and said, "Well, then I will be by your side and serve you well." Cloud Shinobi Village is really willing to spend money. In order to ease the relationship between Naruto and Cloud Shinobi, they actually sent such a beautiful woman. Before Naruto could react, there was another soft laugh. "It's really lively here." Sam 0.7e and Naruto were taken aback at the same time, and then looked towards the source of the sound. All I saw was, downstairs in the hotel, a blonde and plump woman came over. The blonde woman was wearing a green coat. Chatong looked at this side with great interest. Her figure was even plumper than Samuel's. Seeing this woman, Naruto recognized her immediately. Isn't this exactly the Tsunade of one of the Sannin? Why is Tsunade here too? Samui also recognized Tsunade's identity. Seeing Tsunade coming, Samui was also very smart. Knowing that Konoha's Tsunade was coming, he must have something important to find Naruto. Immediately, Samui nodded politely to Tsunade and said to Naruto with a light smile, "Then I'll go first." After finishing speaking, Samui walked into the hotel room, not disturbing the two of them knowingly. Chapter 128. Seeing Tsunade approaching, Naruto blinked suspiciously. "I don't know what Konoha's Tsunade is looking for." Tsunade walked up to Naruto, glanced at the hotel playfully, then said with a playful smile, "You boy, the beauty is not shallow." Naruto smiled, didn't speak, but asked, "Who are you?" After Tsunade heard Naruto's words, he also coughed and became serious. Chatong looked at Naruto and said, "Let me introduce myself first. You must have heard of me in Konoha. I'm Tsunade, one of the Sannin of Konoha. I came to see you because I have something to discuss with you." Naruto was stunned for a moment and couldn't help being more puzzled. The people from Konoha came to discuss something with him. Doesn't Tsunade know that he is Konoha's traitor now? No, since Tsunade came to find him, he must have already known his identity. This also made Naruto even more puzzled. Seeing the doubts on Naruto's face, Tsunade couldn't help chuckling a few times and said with a light smile, "I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I know your identity and what you have done. I have carefully studied that incident, and it is true that Mr. Sarutobi did something wrong. With your identity, you should not be treated like this. I didn't come here today to pursue this matter. As for Konoha's matter, I'll talk about it later. There are more important things I want to discuss with you now." "What's the matter?" Naruto asked suspiciously. Tsunade cleared his throat, and after confirming that there was no one around, he said seriously, "I want to be Konoha's fifth Hokage." Naruto was taken aback. Before he could speak, Tsunade continued, "Don't talk yet, listen to me. You also know that the Fourth Ninja World War is about to begin. Konoha is now leaderless and in a mess. If he is forced to be involved in the Ninja World War in this state, then Konoha will definitely be destroyed. I don't want to see the village left by my grandfather be destroyed like this. So when I return to the village this time, I just want to lead Konoha to survive this ninja war safely. Don't worry, after I become the fifth Hokage, I will never let a tragedy like yours happen again. Under my leadership, Konoha will become brighter and better." Naruto nodded at Tsunade's words. Naruto also knows Tsunade's ability and heart. If Konoha is under the leadership of Tsunade, it will definitely get better and better, reducing the kind of things that happened in childhood. However, Naruto was still puzzled. Tsunade wants to be Hokage. Why did he come to him? After thinking for a while, Naruto asked, "What does it have to do with you and me? If you want to become Hokage, I won't stop you, don't worry." Seeing Naruto's attitude, Tsunade smiled and exhaled slightly. She was really worried that Naruto would object. After all, Naruto and Konoha had a lot of conflicts. Although she said she would not pursue it, she didn't know Naruto, and she didn't know what Naruto thought. In short, after hearing Naruto's words, Tsunade was also slightly relieved. "In this case, let me tell you why I came to you. You should know the root organization of Danzo," Tsunade said. Naruto nodded. How could he not know about this organization? After all, most of my childhood was watched by root people. Thinking about it, Naruto glanced at Tsunade and said lightly, "Are you trying to intercede with the root? Although I have only killed Danzo now, it doesn't mean that I will let the root go. Anyone who hurt me, I will never let go. The root, I must kill." Seeing Naruto's intense killing intent for a moment, Tsunade was slightly startled. However, Tsunade soon calmed down, smiled slightly, and said, "It seems that our ideas coincide with each other." Naruto was taken aback. Then, Tsunade quickly said, "Don't worry, I'm not here to plead. On the contrary, I want you to help me get rid of the root." Naruto glanced at Tsunade in surprise. He didn't expect Tsunade to say these words to himself. Tsunade seemed to understand Naruto's surprise, smiled lightly, and said, "I know you may not believe it, but I did it for a reason. Now Danzo is dead, but the people at the root have not been disbanded. Although some people are willing to submit to the Hokage lineage, many more have been regrouped by the elders. The Ministry of Elders wants to use this power to deter the forces of Hokage and share their power. But you also know that Konoha can no longer stand the political disputes within the village. There are 3 more days until the Ninja World War. If the village cannot be completely stabilized and all obey Hokage's orders, then those who will participate in the Ninja World War as a result, it's no different from now. So, I would like to ask you to help me get rid of the root people. First, I think you will not let them go. Second, this is what I have to do to better stabilize the development of the village," Tsunade said, also looking at Naruto's face, wanting to see Naruto's decision. After hearing Tsunade's words, Naruto also nodded slightly. Tsunade is indeed a woman who can become a Hokage. She looks weak on the outside, but in fact Tsunade is very strong inside. As a Sannin, she also knows that if Konoha's civil strife continues like this and Hokage's power cannot be concentrated, then Konoha will cause serious disasters again, and even have serious consequences for farming. Konoha may also repeat the same mistakes and suffer disaster again. This kind of thing, Tsunade absolutely does not want to see. Since she wants to be Hokage, she wants to make the village peaceful and stable, never be a product of political disputes. That's why Tsunade wants to get rid of the roots and solve this dark force that can no longer be used by the village. The current root has been completely reduced to a tool for the village's senior elders to fight for power. And it can't be controlled by Hokage, and it has done a lot of outrageous things. In this case, it is better to completely eliminate it. After Naruto heard it, he also nodded. However, Naruto did not rush to agree, but turned around and said, "I will think about it. However, this is an internal matter of Konoha. Why did you come to me?" Chapter 129. This is what confuses Naruto the most. Naruto understands that Tsunade wants to become Hokage and get rid of the forces that endanger the village. But this is an internal matter of Konoha. Why do you ask him, Konoha Rinin, to cooperate? This made Naruto a little puzzled. Tsunade smiled when he heard Naruto's question and answered, "Because I said it, I know you won't let them go easily. Moreover, as a Konoha person, it's not easy for me to do this kind of thing. Although the people in the roots have done a lot of betrayal of the village in private, and even cooperated with the enemies of the village and even rebellion under the leadership of Danzo. But they are still members of Konoha after all, and they have the elders as shelter. It's not easy to get your hands on them. So, I want to ask you for help." After listening to Tsunade's explanation, Naruto nodded and understood. It is absolutely impossible to stay with this organization. In fact, even if Tsunade doesn't say anything, Naruto will come out. But obviously, the situation is critical now, and Konoha can't wait for such a long time. That being the case, Naruto doesn't mind extorting a fortune. Immediately, Naruto smiled lightly and said, "I can make a move. But since it's a favor for you, what reward will I have?" After hearing Naruto's words, Tsunade was not surprised at all. After all, she came to ask Naruto for help. Immediately, Tsunade chuckled and said, "What reward do you want, as one of the Sannin? Is it not enough for me to give you a favor?" Naruto smiled lightly, shook his head and said, "Of course not enough." After Tsunade heard it, he looked at Naruto playfully, his beautiful eyes flashed playfully, and said, "Why? You still want me to be your hostage?" Obviously, Tsunade also heard the conversation between Samui and Naruto just now, and joked with Naruto. Naruto smiled, stepped forward involuntarily, looked at it playfully, and said, "It's not impossible." Seeing Naruto stepping forward, his body almost sticks to himself. Tsunade also blushed slightly, and immediately let out a coquettish snort. "It's a beautiful idea. Tell me, what reward do you want?" Naruto smiled, thought for a while, and said, "The reward is very simple. You promise me a request. As for the request, I haven't figured it out yet. I will tell you later. What do you think?" Tsunade thought for a while, then nodded and smiled. "No problem. Shall I send Kakashi with you?" Tsunade asked. But she knows that although the leader of the route, Danzo, is dead, there are still several powerful ninjas in the route. In particular, after Danzo's training, everyone at the route is a murderous weapon, with their unique means, and it is very difficult to deal with. However, Naruto shook his head and said lightly, "No need. I'm enough alone." Tsunade froze for a moment, then glanced at Naruto in surprise. Now that Naruto said so, she was too embarrassed to say anything else. After a brief chat with Tsunade, Tsunade left. Looking at the back of Tsunade leaving, Naruto's eyes also flashed a subtle arc. Konoha has already been destroyed by him once. I hope that Konoha will be reborn under the leadership of Tsunade in the future. As for those who have hurt themselves, though, no matter how they repent, Naruto will not let it go. Next, it will be a complete bloodbath. And the first goal is the root. Those accomplices who watched him when he was a child, Naruto will solve them one by one. Naruto exhaled, and after Tsunade left, he was also ready to turn around and enter the hotel. However, as soon as he turned around, Naruto heard the noisy voices of two women in the room. I only heard Terumi-May asking hostilely after seeing the blonde and beautiful Sammy walking in, "What are you doing in here?" Sam replied lightly, "I'm here to serve Naruto. From now on, I will stay by Naruto's side and serve him well." "As a hostage." "Hostage? Serve?" Terumi-May frowned. Immediately, Terumi-May looked at Sammy with great interest and said, "Are you going to serve Jonin? Do you know how to serve Naruto?" Of course I know," Sam said without admitting defeat. "Oh? Then do you know how to warm the bed? Naruto is going to rest next. Why don't you warm his bed first?" Terumi-May looked at Samui playfully. "You." Samui blushed immediately and glanced at the bed sheet next to him with some shame. Seems to be hesitating. After Naruto outside the door heard it, he also felt helpless, coughed, and walked in. After seeing Naruto coming in, Terumi-May stepped forward and asked, "Naruto, what is Konoha Tsunade looking for you for?" Terumi-May already knew the reason why Samui came here, so instead of asking about Samui, she asked Tsunade. Naruto smiled lightly and explained, "She's here to work with me." After Terumi-May heard it, she nodded. Since Naruto didn't say much, she won't ask too much. Immediately, Naruto looked at Samui, thought for a while, and said, "Since you want to stay, then stay here first. I'm going to go out to deal with some things. You wait for me here." Samui and Terumi-May nodded, and the two female guests snorted at each other. Seeing this, Naruto smiled helplessly. Next, it's time for him to bloodbath Konoha's top management. After Naruto left the Konoha Hotel, he went directly to the place where Konoha's high-level executives were located, Nuazhao. After living in Konoha for several years, he has already found out the basement of the Elders and the Root organization. After coming here, Naruto turned into a Shinigami and began to reap the lives of Elder Konoha and Root Ninja. He kills anyone he sees and doesn't hold back. Hans Senbon bathed in blood. Here, almost all of them were involved in Ninetales politics and even oppressed Naruto. And there's Danzo's minions, Roots. Naruto did not follow Tsunade's request and only removed the Roots. On the contrary, Konoha's elders are also on his bloodbath list. Konoha's elders are mostly filthy with third Hokage or Danzo. As an insider or even an accomplice, how could Naruto let them go? Anyone who hurt Naruto, Naruto will never let go. They will all be beheaded by Naruto. Chapter 130. Those Konoha elders screamed in horror when they saw Naruto, almost as if they saw a devil. Even, Some elders of Konoha were so frightened that they fled everywhere. But without exception, all that Naruto saw, not a single one was left alive. Inside the Konoha high-rise, there are mountains of corpses and seas of blood everywhere. Blood flows into rivers. In the wide corridor and the dark basement, blood is flowing dash. The entire Konoha high-rise clubhouse is also upside down. Among them, the figure of Naruto shuttles around like a Shinigami, harvesting everywhere. This is a real bloodbath. Soon, in just one night, the elders of Konoha were all beheaded by Naruto. All those who participated in the original, Naruto did not stay. Next, the Roots. Time to come to the basement of Root Ninja Survival. The people of the Roots also recognized Naruto. Although they haven't seen each other for a while, Naruto has lived under their surveillance for several years, so how could they not recognize Naruto's appearance? After seeing Naruto, the Root Ninjas were also stunned. It was completely unexpected that Naruto would come to him. However, they also knew that Naruto was not kind, and they knew that Danzo was also beheaded by Naruto. Therefore, after seeing Naruto, the Root Ninjas showed their killing intent one by one, wanting to eliminate Naruto. However, letting them use any means, they can't hurt Naruto at all. The people at the Root may be really strong, and everyone has their own abilities and killing skills that they are good at. But in front of Naruto, these are not enough to see. After seeing the Root Ninja, Naruto starts killing again. The Zanpakuto in your hand is like Shinigami's sickle, constantly reaping the lives of ninjas. But in front of Naruto, those Root Ninjas have no power to resist. Like sheep waiting to be slaughtered, Naruto beheaded them one by one. After a while, the basement at the Root has turned into hell. In the entire basement, there is no one alive except for Naruto. All the Root Ninjas turned into corpses and fell at Naruto's feet. Mountain of corpses and sea of blood. Blood flowed like a river. Naruto looked at the corpse at his feet indifferently and let out a sigh of relief. What he has always wanted to do for so many years has finally been accomplished. Konoha once hurt him. Today, almost all of them have been beheaded by Naruto. Then, Naruto kicked away the corpse under his feet, stepped on the blood, and prepared to walk out from the dark basement. After walking a few steps, suddenly, a complicated sigh sounded. Naruto froze for a moment, then turned his head to look. Soon, he found a figure standing against a wall in a dark corner. The figure was very tall, with a head of white hair that was extremely slender, falling vertically to his feet like a waterfall. He has a forehead protector on his forehead, but that forehead protector is not the logo of Ninja Village, but engraved with the word oil. Seeing this person, Naruto couldn't help being taken aback. Isn't this middle-aged man in a red coat exactly Tsunade's teammate, and also one of the Sannin with Tsunade, Todesei Jiraiya? Seeing Naruto's gaze, Jiraiya sighed and walked slowly to Naruto's feet. He took a complicated look at the corpses under his feet, and then sighed. I knew you would do it. Naruto froze for a moment, didn't speak, just watched Jiraiya with his mouth closed. Seeing Jiraiya appear, Naruto has already guessed that Jiraiya should know about his cooperation with Tsunade. However, Naruto didn't follow what Tsunade said, only killing people at the Root. On the contrary, Konoha's high-level elders were also beheaded by Naruto. Jiraiya seems to already know about this. However, he didn't blame Naruto. Instead, he sighed and said with regret and complexity in his eyes, the people who hurt you at the beginning have almost been killed. Naruto nodded. That's right. After this bloodbath, those who participated in the Nine-Tails Rebellion, joined forces with 3rd Hokage and Danzo, and harmed Naruto have almost all been killed by Naruto. Seeing Naruto nodding, Jiraiya sighed slightly and continued. It's no wonder you did this. You must already know the truth of everything. Actually, your father is 4th Hokage. When I learned that the 4th Hokage sealed 9 tails and died, I originally wanted to come back to take care of you and raise you up. But the teacher, that is, 3rd Hokage, has issued an order that anyone is strictly forbidden to tell you your identity, and even ordered to conceal the truth and facts. There is nothing I can do. Ask for flowers. Naruto didn't make a sound when he heard Jiraiya's words. Naruto already knew everything about the original. 3rd Hokage not only ordered to conceal the truth and facts of the original Nine-Tails Rebellion, but also forged and slandered and spread rumors, saying that he was the Nine-Tails Demon Fox. It was used to vent the anger of the Konoha village people who were killed and injured by the Nine-Tails Rebellion, and to consolidate his power. Not only that, but 3rd Hokage may have given an order not to allow anyone to teach Naruto about ninjas privately. The fear is that Naruto will be beyond his control in the future. After all, in the eyes of Konoha's senior management, Naruto is just a container for carrying nine tails. It doesn't need to become stronger. It just needs to be obediently under Konoha's control and seal nine tails. Naruto already knew this. Looking at Naruto's silence, without saying a word, he sighed again and said, I can understand you doing this. However, there may be a better solution. Before Jiraiya finished speaking, Naruto shook his head and said coldly, Understand? No, you can only understand it if you have experienced it. You've been through the same darkness and pain as I have, and you can't say there's a better solution. That's right. Anyone who has experienced the darkness of Naruto will not swallow it. All these costs can only be repaid by the cleansing of blood. Don't let Konoha's people know the pain. They won't repent, and they won't realize their sins. After hearing Naruto's words, Jiraiya was stunned for a moment, looked at Naruto complicatedly, sighed, and was speechless. Indeed, from his point of view, even though he knows everything about what happened, it is not easy to be on the scene with Naruto. Rao is Jiraiya, who can't refute Naruto at the moment. Jiraiya shook his head. Naruto also exhaled, looked at Jiraiya, and said, I've known this for a long time. It's not as simple as telling me the truth when you came to me. Jiraiya nodded. He came to Naruto for something else. Then, Jiraiya took a deep breath, looked at Naruto complicatedly, his eyes gradually became serious and said, Since that's the case, then I won't say more. The great Toad Sage of Mount Myaboku, I want to meet you. Chapter 131. Mount Myaboku, the legendary place where the great Toad Sage of the Six Paths era lived. It is also one of the places of inheritance that is as famous as the Whetbone Forest and Ryuchi Cave. Naruto originally thought that he destroyed Konoha, so he should never touch Mount Myaboku like in the original book. Unexpectedly, the reason why Jiraiya took the initiative to come to him at this time is actually for this. After Naruto heard it, he couldn't help looking at Jiraiya with a little surprise. Legend has it that the great Toad Sage of Mount Myaboku can foretell the future, and Naruto knows it to be true. At this time, the great Toad Sage wanted to meet him. Could it be that he foresaw his future? Naruto frowned slightly. I also wanted to go to Mount Myaboku to see what happened. After all, Mount Myaboku also has the Toad Oil for Sage Mode. After Jiraiya introduced Naruto to Mount Myaboku, he said that he wanted to take Naruto to Mount Myaboku. Naruto knew that to enter Mount Myaboku, he needed to sign a summoning contract with the Toads of Mount Myaboku. In this way, the Toad Sages on the side of Mount Myaboku can accurately reach the location of Mount Myaboku through the reverse summoning of the summoning technique. Otherwise, finding the entrance to Mount Myaboku, which is surrounded by labyrinths, would have been much harder. Therefore, when Jiraiya took out the scroll, Naruto also wrote his name. Soon bang. The figures of the two disappeared in the dark basement. When it reappeared, there was already a piece of paradise in front of Naruto's eyes. The clear sky is full of fresh green plants, white clouds are floating in the sky, and there is a huge pond in the distance. The whole scenery looks very beautiful. It's like a paradise. Naruto admired the scene in front of him. Soon, two huge black shadows appeared in the blue sky. The black shadows fell from the sky and landed beside Naruto and Jiraiya with a bang. Seeing the faces of those two huge black shadows, Naruto smiled slightly. These two huge shadows are none other than Mount Myaboku's Toad Thugs, Toad Bunta, and Toad Kin. Seeing these two big toads appear, Jiraiya laughed a few times and said, "One-tai, long time no see." Gamafumta glanced at Jiraiya, then looked at Naruto again and said, "Jiraiya, boss has been waiting for you for a long time. Is this kid Uzumaki Naruto?" Toad Fumiya looked at Naruto too carefully. Jiraiya nodded, her expression gradually serious. He knew that during this trip to Mount Myaboku, the great Toad Sage must have something important to say, otherwise he would not have asked him to bring Naruto here. After seeing Jiraiya nodding, Toad Fumita looked more carefully, the yellow pupils narrowed, and said to himself, "What kind of monster is this kid? In order to summon you all, Toadairo's chakra was exhausted." Well, Jiraiya froze for a moment before he saw it. It turned out that there were not only the two big toads who had just arrived around them, but also a light green toad behind them. It's just that the toad was very weak at the moment. As if he had collapsed, he collapsed on the ground, panting heavily. Jiraiya's pupils widened suddenly, and her mouth opened in surprise. He knew how powerful the toad chakra of Mount Myaboku was, especially in Mount Myaboku, where the aura is abundant. Toad Hiroshi, one of the three masters of Mount Myaboku, exhausted chakra to summon him and Naruto. What kind of monster is Naruto? Thinking, Jiraiya gasped. He didn't think that Tomoe used up chakra just to summon him. After all, Mount Mayaboku summoned him not once or twice, and they didn't need much chakra at all. Immediately, Jiraiya looked at Naruto strangely. Hama Wantai and Hamajin were also full of surprise. Toad panted weakly. "EXU?" Seeing this, Toad when I said, "Kin Toad, you go and take Hiroshi Toma to rest. I will take Jiraiya Kid and Uzumaki Naruto to meet the boss and the others." Toad Jin nodded, and immediately picked up Toad's huge body, leaped vigorously. The huge body flew into the air, and the two toads disappeared immediately. After Gamakin and Gama Hiroshi left, Gamabunta also said to Jiraiya and Naruto, "Let's go. The old Yamato Great Toad Sage has been waiting for you for a long time." Jiraiya hummed, and prepared to meet Great Toad Sage and others with Toad Bunta. However, Naruto was not in a hurry to leave. Instead, he closed his eyes and said silently in his heart, "System, sign in." Naruto knew it was his first visit to Mount Mayaboku. In such a place full of aura and natural energy, how could Naruto miss the chance to get sign-in rewards? Sure enough, after Naruto said silently, the system responded quickly in his mind. Ding, checking in for host. Ding, check-in location, Mount Mayaboku. Ding, successful sign-in. Congratulations, host. Get the sign-in reward, Space Ninjutsu, Flying Thunder God, Sage Mode. After the sound of the system sounded, a huge amount of information soon poured into Naruto's mind. And those information are the practice methods and experience skills of Flying Thunder God and Sage Mode. Naruto happily accepted the information in his mind, and quickly finished processing the information. He couldn't help but was very happy and nodded in satisfaction. Unexpectedly, this sign-in reward directly got Sage Mode. Originally, he wanted to learn Sage Mode at Mount Mayaboku, but he didn't expect to get it directly after signing in this time. What a surprise. What's more, there is Flying Thunder God. As the famous space ninjutsu of 4th generation 4.9 Hokage, the power of Flying Thunder God is beyond doubt. 4th Hokage is known as the Golden Flash in the ninja world with this move, the fastest ninja in the ninja world. Moreover, the key is that the use of this ninjutsu is very convenient in all aspects. As long as the spell is engraved, the mark of the Flying Thunder God will never disappear. Naruto can reach the place marked by Flying Thunder God at any time. More importantly, if the markers are placed in advance, almost all users of Flying Thunder God can reach the level of no solution. This ninjutsu is nothing short of powerful. After accepting the two ninjas with satisfaction, Naruto also looked at Jiraiya and Gamabunta and went to see the Great Toad Sage together. Next, it's time to meet the Great Toad Sage and see what he's looking for. Chapter 132. Naruto followed Toadbunta and Jiraiya all the way to the temple deep in Mount Mayaboku. There are candles everywhere in the temple. Walking all the way, Naruto soon came to a spacious palace and met the Great Toad Sage. The Great Toad Sage sat in the center of the palace, sleeping on a soft padded chair. He is tall, and his skin is a little yellowish. There is a string of necklaces around the neck, and there is a big word oil on the necklace. Beside him, there are two little toads. One is Toad Sage of Mount Mayaboku, who is also Jiraiya's master, Toad Fukasaku. And the other one is his wife, Toad Shima. Toad Fukasaku woke up Great Toad Sage after seeing Naruto and Jiraiya coming and said, "My lord, here we come." Huh. Great Toad Sage yawned, opened his vicissitudes of eyes sleepily, and then closed them again. Seeing this, Toad coughed deeply, cleared his throat, and said again, "My lord, Uzumaki Naruto is here." 17. Hearing this voice, Great Toad Sage opened his eyes, looked at Toad Fukasaku, and said, "Huh? Who's here?" "Uzumaki Naruto." Toad Fukasaku repeated. Great Toad Sage nodded as if he understood, and then slowly opened his eyes. Those eyes that have experienced the vicissitudes of thousands of years, as if with a glance of wisdom, fell on Naruto. Wisdom glanced at Naruto, and then the Great Toad Sage said, "You? Who are you?" Naruto was stunned for a moment, thinking that Great Toad Sage was going to say something, but he didn't expect to pop out this word after a long time. Suddenly, Naruto frowned. Before Naruto could speak, Toma Fukasaku felt a little embarrassed and said, "My lord, he is Uzumaki Naruto." After Great Toad Sage heard it, he seemed to suddenly think of something, and suddenly realized wisdom flickered in his vicissitudes of life eyes. Then, Great Toad Sage vaguely said, "Are you Uzumaki Naruto? I saw you in my dream." Naruto was taken aback for a moment, and instantly lifted his spirits. He knew that the so-called dreams of the Great Toad Sage were prophecies. Then, Great Toad Sage thought for a moment and said again, "It should be said that I dreamed of you twice." Twice? Naruto was a little surprised. "That's right. Once, I saw you destroy Konoha with your own hands. Many people in Konoha died at your hands, including an old man wearing a bamboo hat. But that dream has passed for a long time. It must have come true now." Upon hearing that, Jiraiya sighed. Naruto also nodded. The old man mentioned by the Great Toad Sage must be third Hokage. This is what happened before. That is, when Naruto defected to Konoha, a massive Rasengan destroyed Konoha. This thing has indeed happened. Seeing the performance of Jiraiya and Naruto, Toad Fukasaku also knew that what Great Toad Sage said was correct. So he opened his mouth to help Great Toad Sage explain. "It seems that the Great Toad Sage is right. However, the reason why I asked you here is not because of this prophecy, but the second one. It seems that Great Toad Sage told Toad Fukasaku part of the prophecy because he was afraid that he would forget." "What about the second prophecy?" Naruto nodded and looked at the Great Toad Sage. After hearing Naruto's words, Great Toad Sage also narrowed his eyes, and there was a sharp arc in his vicissitudes of eyes, as if he wanted to see through Naruto. Then, as Toad Sage said, "Second, I saw that you destroyed the ninja world." "What?" Jiraiya lost her voice in disbelief when she heard Great Toad Sage's words. "Great Toad Sage, didn't you say that in the prophecy you saw before, it was only possible to destroy the ninja world? Didn't the prophecy you told me say that the blonde boy will change the ninja world and lead the ninja world to change?" Toad Fukasaku was also a little shocked and asked the Great Toad Sage in astonishment. What the Great Toad Sage said at this moment was completely different from what he had been told before. "I just said before that the blonde boy will lead the ninja world to change. It may be destruction, or it may be a new life. But now, how could it directly become destruction ninja world?" Great Toad Sage also nodded when he heard Toad Fukasaku and said, "That's right. The picture I saw before was indeed the blonde boy leading everyone in the ninja world to fight against a man with a Rinnegan. However, just now, I saw a new picture." As he said that, the Great Toad Sage narrowed his eyes and stared at Naruto. "I see that in the ninja world of the future, there will be mountains of corpses and seas of blood. The sky will turn red, and many ninjas will die. Moreover, under a big tree, there is only a blonde boy standing on it, and the corpses of ninjas are all under his feet." "Did Naruto kill those people?" Jiraiya asked anxiously. The Great Toad Sage shook his head. "I don't know. Regarding the future of the blonde boy, I can only vaguely see a few pictures, and I can't see clearly what's behind. However, no matter what, judging from these pictures, the survival of the ninja world has an inseparable relationship with the blonde boy." After the words fell, everyone fell into deep thought. Obviously, according to the Great Toad Sage, there was only 543 blonde boys standing on the big tree alone. That means that those ninjas who died were most likely killed by the blonde boy. Of course, there is another possibility. That is, the ninjas in the ninja world were killed by other enemies, and only the blonde boy survived. But in that case, who exactly killed so many ninjas in the ninja world? And who was the blonde boy? Everyone looked at Naruto involuntarily. Naruto was also slightly surprised. However, he quickly calmed down, and there were not many waves in his heart. He also had some guesses about the language of the Great Toad Sage. Whether it is saving the ninja world or destroying the ninja world, nothing to do with him, nothing to do with him. He doesn't have much affection for this world. Even if it is destroyed, it doesn't matter. All he wanted to do was to protect the few people he cared about. Of course, if people in the ninja world want to be his enemy, then he doesn't mind being the one who destroys the world. While everyone was contemplating, Great Toad Sage also stared at Naruto and said slowly again, "Uzumaki Naruto, that's why I want to meet you. Because that blonde boy is very likely to be you." Chapter 133. Hearing what the Great Toad Sage said, everyone's eyes and attention were instantly placed on Naruto, eyes wide open, paying attention to Naruto. Indeed, the characteristics of the blonde boy are exactly the same as those of Naruto. And, more importantly, the first prophecy of the Great Toad Sage, the prophesied Naruto. Then it is very likely that the second one is also him. All took a deep breath. After Naruto heard it, he didn't speak either. The Great Toad Sage looked at Naruto and continued, "The various characteristics and signs that I pay attention to indicate that the son of prophecy is very likely to be you. So, your next decision is related to the survival of the ninja world. I came to you today to tell you about this, and I hope you can treat this prophecy with caution. After listening to what the great toad sage said, Naruto raised his head. His superb eyes remained motionless, without any wavering. Then, Naruto said lightly, I don't care about the survival of the ninja world, and I don't care about what happens in the ninja world. I do what I should, including destroying Konoha. I'm sure you all know what Konoha did to me. If I don't destroy such a village, I'd be too sorry for me. Upon hearing that, Jiraiya sighed. Great Toad Sage also sighed slightly, staring at Naruto with vicissitudes of life, and said slowly again, For so many years, I have seen many eras change, but this time is different. What I can do is to predict in advance. It can't change the result. I can't see clearly the future of the ninja world. Next, I will continue to fall into a deep sleep. I hope that when I wake up next time, I can see good results. After the great Toad Sage finished speaking, he slowly closed his eyelids again. Seeing this, Toad Fukasaku and Toad Shima bowed deeply and said, Hard work, great Toad Sage. After speaking, Tomoe Fukasaku said to Jiraiya, Little Jiraiya, let's get out. Immediately, Gama Fukasaku and Gama Shima took Jiraiya and Naruto out of the temple and palace. After leaving the palace where the great Toad Sage was, Jiraiya and Naruto came to a huge pond. Suddenly, Jiraiya exhaled heavily, looked at Naruto aside, and asked, Naruto, what do you think of the great Toad Sage's prophecy? After hearing Jiraiya's words, Naruto thought for a while and said, No opinion, I am who I am, and I will not change my decision because of the prophecy. Yep, that's what Naruto thought after hearing the great Toad Sage. Although he didn't know what the great Toad Sage meant when he was the only one standing on a big tree. But Naruto knows that as long as he is strong enough, he can control everything and protect the people he wants to protect. The survival of the ninja world has nothing to do with him. He just needs to do what he wants to do. Jiraiya nodded, not seeming surprised either. Immediately, he looked up at the sky, thought for a while, and murmured, I can understand your behavior of destroying Konoha. After all, you have suffered so much. Perhaps Mr. Sarutobi's approach is really wrong, but... Saying that, Jiraiya turned to look at Naruto. His eyes gradually became serious and said, As a disciple of Master Sarutobi, I can't do nothing. In that case, Naruto, let's fight. Hearing Jiraiya's words, Naruto was slightly taken aback, looked at Jiraiya in surprise, and asked, A fight? Jiraiya nodded and said, Yes, this is also to make up for the regret in my heart. Come on, let me see how Minato's child has grown. Seeing Jiraiya's serious expression, Naruto also knew what Jiraiya was thinking. Third Hokage was beheaded by Naruto, and as a disciple of Third Hokage, he couldn't do nothing. Even though he understood Naruto's approach, at this moment, he also wanted to challenge Naruto, firstly to see Naruto's growth, and secondly to fulfill his disciple's responsibility. Seeing this, Naruto nodded, just as he also wanted to see the strength of Toad Sage Jiraiya. Immediately, Naruto said lightly, Okay, then let's have a fight. After finishing speaking, the breath of chakra flow on Naruto's body was also released. After the two breaths erupted, they immediately began to collide. The powerful coercion caused a wave of namikes to explode around the two of them, causing the surrounding trees to vibrate and tremble endlessly. Seeing this, Jiraiya immediately clapped his hands together and shouted to Naruto seriously, Let me show you the sage mode of Mount Myaboku Toad Sage. After saying that, Jiraiya suddenly closed her eyes. See, Zalaiji has countless energies gathering towards him. And with these energies pouring into Jiraiya, Jiraiya's aura is getting stronger and stronger. Seeing this scene, Naruto can see it at a glance. Those energies are natural energies. The next thing Jiraiya will use is Mount Myaboku's Sage Mode. Jiraiya also knows how powerful Naruto is. After all, he saw Naruto deal with root ninjas, so he used the powerful method of Sage Mode as soon as he came up. In Sage Mode, Jiraiya's strength, speed, and even the power of ninjutsu will be doubled. The strength has also been greatly enhanced. This is magic. The natural energy in Mount Myaboku is very abundant, and soon, Jiraiya's face has a fairy face, and the pupils have also turned into a frog-like color. Li Qian's, seeing Jiraiya cast Sage Mode, Naruto gradually became serious. He knows the power of Sage Mode. In particular, Jiraiya's own strength is very good. With the enhancement of Sage Mode, Jiraiya's strength is already beyond the ordinary Kaga-level powerhouse. After Jiraiya finished casting Sage Mode, she also let out a deep breath, and the huge chakra on her body rolled over. Then, Jiraiya shouted, Bring it on! The words fell. Jiraiya jumped into the air, and his body fell towards Naruto like a cannonball. Immediately afterwards, a blue chakra ball celery suddenly appeared in Jiraiya's hand. The ball suddenly condensed and became bigger and bigger. In a blink of an eye, it becomes a super large Rasengan several meters huge. Immediately afterwards, Jiraiya shouted, "Sage art? Massive Rasengan." Chapter 134. I only saw Jiraiya holding a huge, massive Rasengan in his hand, blasting towards Naruto. Seeing this, Naruto raised his hand abruptly and said softly, 81 of Bakudo, splitting void. The words fell. All I saw was a transparent white light barrier suddenly rising in front of Naruto. The barrier rises and stops in front of Jiraiya, and Jiraiya's massive Rasengan instantly bombards it. Boom. The two collide. After the huge Rasengan bombarded the transparent barrier, the terrifying power poured out. I only saw that under the bombardment of the powerful force of massive Rasengan, the white light barrier formed by chakra was completely motionless. It didn't mean to be damaged at all. Seeing this, Jiraiya couldn't help being slightly surprised. But he knows that this massive Rasengan is formed by the condensed magic chakra, that is, natural energy. Its power is many times stronger than that of ordinary Rasengan. Even S-level ninjutsu cannot match it. However, at this moment, it is impossible to blast through the defense that Naruto made casually. However, Jiraiya was not discouraged, and after taking a deep breath, he concentrated his attack again. Jiraiya's figure flashed. Driven by huge natural energy, Jiraiya's speed was very fast. In a blink of an eye, he bypassed the barrier of the splitting void and came to Naruto. Immediately afterwards, Jiraiya punched out. Sage art, frog kumite. Seeing Jiraiya's appearance, Naruto was unhurried, as if he had expected it. 950 He knows that Jiraiya's frog-dimensional hand is not just a simple fist attack. Frog Team is a physical technique that condenses natural energy. With the help of natural energy, the attack range is increased. Even if you dodge it, you will be hit by invisible natural energy. However, even so, Naruto didn't panic at all. Just when the frog was about to hit Naruto, all of a sudden, Naruto's figure suddenly disappeared. Jiraiya's frog team also fell short. Jiraiya was stunned for a moment, and before he could react, he saw Naruto suddenly appearing behind him. Rasengan condensed in his hand and slapped Jiraiya violently. Jiraiya was startled and quickly used ninjutsu to resist. Ninja method, positional possession. In an instant, the hair behind Jiraiya grew suddenly, and the sharp hair wrapped Jiraiya's whole body. And the spikes formed by the hair were like sharp knives, trying to pierce Naruto. Seeing this, Naruto was not afraid at all, and suddenly took pictures of the middle spiral. Rasengan's impact hit Jiraiya instantly. Even though Jiraiya's whole body was protected by sharp long hair, she was still sent flying by Rasengan, and she fell back dozens of meters. After stabilizing his figure, the hair on Jiraiya's body slowly, bye-bye, returned to its original shape, and he looked at Naruto in amazement. Unexpectedly, Naruto's strength is so strong. Even his frog and massive Rasengan didn't hurt Naruto, but he suffered from Naruto's hands in the first round. You know he turned on Sage mode. However, just when Jiraiya was amazed by Naruto's strength, Naruto threw away kunai again. Kunai pierced the sky and attacked Jiraiya. Seeing this, Jiraiya smiled slightly and said, "If you want to hurt my toad sage with such a simple kunai, you'd be underestimating me." Then, Jiraiya is ready to turn the body and live through suffering. However, when kunai just arrived at his side, suddenly, kunai disappeared. Instead, Naruto with a Rasengan in his hand. Naruto suddenly appeared above Jiraiya. Seeing this, Jiraiya suddenly remembered something when he saw this extremely familiar scene in operation. Immediately afterwards, Jiraiya blurted out in astonishment, "Flying Thunder God." That's right, it's the Flying Thunder God. The kunai just now, Naruto marked it, the kunai just attracted Jiraiya's attention. The real purpose is to use the Flying Thunder God technique. Replace Teigu with himself, to achieve this attack that cannot be avoided at all. As soon as Jiraiya finished speaking, Naruto smiled slightly. That's right, it's the Flying Thunder God. Immediately, Rasengan photographed. A huge impact exploded on Jiraiya in an instant. Even with the increase of Sage mode, it can't bear the power of Rasengan at all. After Rasengan bombarded Jiraiya, he instantly slapped Jiraiya on the ground. The powerful force made a big hole in the ground by Rasengan, and Jiraiya also fell into the pit, very embarrassed. The battle is over. In just a few moments, the decision between Naruto and Jiraiya had a result. Gama Fukasaku and Gama Shima on the side also opened their eyes wide in astonishment when they saw it. They never expected that Jiraiya would be defeated so quickly by Naruto. And what surprised them even more was the ninjutsu that Naruto just performed, Flying Thunder God. That's the space ninjutsu of 4th Hokage fame. Now they meet again from Naruto. Naruto, perfect display. Jiraiya was also lying in the big pit, looking at Naruto in embarrassment and shock, with a look of disbelief. Then, he took a few deep breaths, looked deeply at Naruto, and said, "I didn't expect that Minato's ninjutsu would reappear on you. It seems that you have already seen him." Apparently, Jiraiya thought that the Flying Thunder God was given to Naruto by the 4th Hokage. After all, he knew that although Namake's Minato died by sealing 9 tails, how could he, being so powerful, not leave a legacy on Naruto? Seeing Naruto perform 4th Hokage's famous ninjutsu now, Jiraiya also feels that 4th Hokage has recognized Naruto. Immediately, Jiraiya was lying on the ground, looking up at the sky, as if releasing all the pressure, exhaled a big breath, and said with a bold smile, "I lost. I really didn't expect that you kid would have so many tricks." Jiraiya knows that Naruto not only can Flying Thunder God, but also has other powerful moves. After all, there are a lot of rumors about Naruto in the ninja world, and he has already heard about Naruto defeating Raikage and Tsuchikage one after another. Seeing Jiraiya release the pressure, Naruto also smiled lightly. His Rasengan just controlled the strength, just made Jiraiya lose his combat power, and didn't hurt Jiraiya much. If it's a real fight, why use Flying Thunder God? Naruto can easily deal with Jiraiya by other means. Jiraiya laughed loudly, as if she was happy that Naruto had learned Flying Thunder God, and seemed to have finally relieved her emotions. Just when Jiraiya was laughing, suddenly, a huge figure descended from the sky and landed beside Jiraiya and Naruto. That huge figure is none other than Toad Bunta. After Toad Wentai fell on the ground, it made the ground vibrate. Then, Toad Wentai said anxiously to everyone, "Boss, little Jiraiya, something is wrong." Jiraiya and Gama Fukasaku were also slightly taken aback when they saw Gama Bunta being so anxious, and looked at Gama Bunta suspiciously. "Kaido, Wentai, what's the matter? Don't worry, speak slowly." Toad Wentai saw that everyone was there, so he let go of his breath, swallowed hard, and said quickly, "Boss, little Jiraiya, Ninja War begins. Akatsuki has started the war." Chapter 135. What? Hearing Gama Bunta's words, both Jiraiya and Gama Fukasaku opened their eyes wide in disbelief, and lost their voices in shock. They couldn't believe what Toad Wentai said. Akatsuki started a war. And still so fast. Not long after they came to Mount Mayaboku, they launched a general attack on the ninja world. When Jiraiya heard it, she became even more anxious and asked quickly, "How is this going? Didn't Zhao's people say that they will launch a general attack on the ninja world in 3 days? Why did the war break out so soon? It's only been a day." Hearing Jiraiya's words, Gama Buntaya shook his head in confusion. The 5 shadows meeting back then, Uchiha Obito clearly said that after 3 days, Akatsuki will launch a war against the ninja world. Jiraiya is also very clear about this news. Unexpectedly, the war broke out so soon. The 4th Ninja World War has begun. Naruto frowned after hearing Gama Buntai's flustered words. He soon noticed the conspiracy. "I'm afraid, what Uchiha Obito said at the 5 Kages meeting was just a lie to confuse the 5 great ninja villages." Those words made the 5 major ninja villages think that they still have 3 days to prepare. However, in fact, the Akatsuki organization has already started to do it. Uchiha Obito had also conspired earlier. Even at the moment when she left the 5 Kages meeting, perhaps earlier, Akatsuki had already started to act. It's just that people in the ninja world didn't notice it. It has to be said that Uchiha Obito's trick is very cunning. The sudden outbreak of war, and the attack launched by Hishao in advance, I am afraid that the 5 major countries will not be able to react. It will also make the people of the 5 major countries fall into a state of panic and unpreparedness. In this way, let Shao obtain a greater winning rate. Presumably, the 5 major countries that are currently at war are also very flustered and caught off guard. I don't know what happened to Terumi Mei and the others, Naruto thought to himself. After listening to Jiraiya's words, Toad Bunta scratched his head and said in puzzlement, "I don't know the specific situation, but news came from the little toad outside, saying that the ninja world is now in chaos, and there are ninja battlefields everywhere. Many ninja villages have been forced to participate in the war, and the land division is chaotic. Even the 5 major countries have suffered different attacks. Hearing Gama Bunta's words, the expressions of Jiraiya and Gama Fukasaku gradually became serious. They all know the horrors of war and the chaos that ensues after it begins. After taking a deep breath, Toad quickly said to Jiraiya beside him, "Little Jiraiya, hurry back to Konoha. See what's going on now." Jiraiya nodded again and again, exhaled and said, "Okay, I'll get up now. How about you, Naruto?" Jiraiya looked at Naruto. Of course Naruto has to go back too. He knew that Akatsuki's goal was not just to launch a war, but Naruto was also their goal. To be precise, it is the tail beast inside Naruto. Naruto didn't want to stay and wait at Mount Mayaboku. Instead, he wanted to get out and do it all himself. Immediately, Naruto said lightly, "Of course I'm going back." After Jiraiya nodded. Then, Toad Fukasaku and Jiraiya briefly said a few words, and then sent someone to inform the outside Toad to send Jiraiya and the others out. Soon, after a while, there was a bang. Jiraiya and Naruto disappeared in Mount Mayaboku in this paradise. When it reappeared, all kinds of noisy and chaotic explosions sounded in Naruto's ears. There are chakra fluctuations of ninjutsu, and the roar of ninjas. Wind style, hurricane, earth style, heavy rock technique. Kill these monsters. Avenge our companions. Confused voices rang in Naruto's ears one after another, and Naruto's thoughts quickly eased. Looking up, Naruto's surroundings are full of battle wreckage and scenes of ninjas fighting. Ninjas from all walks of life have joined the battle fiercely and began to fight with their enemies. Their enemies are also very strange. They are not ordinary ninjas, nor do they carry ninja forehead protectors, but instead are humanoid soldiers with pale faces and ferocious faces. Naruto knows that those are Akatsuki's army, White Zetsu. Ask for flowers. White Zetsu's fighting power is no weaker than that of ordinary ninjas. Moreover, when Naruto appeared, the surrounding White Zetsu also found Naruto and the others, and immediately rushed towards Naruto. Seeing this, Naruto snorted coldly, and the Senbonzakura in his hand came out through the air, beheading several White Zetsu casually. Immediately, Naruto took a look at the surrounding situation and confirmed his current location. At this moment, he is competing against Konoha not far away. It just so happened that when Naruto left the 5 Kages meeting, he and Terumi Mei rented a hotel nearby to rest. I don't know if Terumi Mei and Samui are still here. Then, Naruto closed his eyes, sensing the breath of Terumi Mei and Samui, trying to find out their location. After a while, Naruto found the chakra of the two. Immediately, opening his eyes, Naruto followed the source of perception and walked in one direction. Seeing that Naruto was about to leave, Jiraiya froze for a moment, but didn't stop him. After all, he wouldn't have acted with Naruto in the first place. The war broke out, and the two had their own things to do. Soon, Naruto found the chakra of the two. After Naruto left, he walked through several woods and soon found a temporary tent base. There are patrolling ninjas outside the tent base, and there are also several figures confronting each other inside, as if arguing about something. 2 of them are Terumi Mei and Samui that Naruto is looking for. After seeing Terumi Mei and Samui, Naruto also rushed over. I said Naruto isn't here. Where did Naruto go? I don't care. He left after seeing you. If you don't give me an explanation today, I will never give up. As soon as he arrived in the tent, Naruto heard the noisy voices of the 2 women. Naruto spared his head and called softly, "Terumi Mei." Hearing Naruto's voice, Terumi Mei and Samui in the tent were taken aback. Immediately, the 2 women turned around and looked around, and soon saw Naruto's figure. Seeing Naruto's appearance, Terumi Mei instantly showed delighted eyes, with a smile in her beautiful eyes, and said coquettishly, "You guys, you're back. Where have you been for so long? I thought you were kidnapped." Chapter 136. Hearing Terumi Mei's words, Naruto smiled awkwardly and came to Terumi Mei's side. Indeed, half a day has passed since he left the hotel. Standing in front of Terumi Mei is Tsunade, one of the Sannin. Tsunade looked annoyed, as if she was the one who quarreled with Terumi Mei just now. Seeing Naruto appear, Tsunade also said angrily, "Now that Naruto is here, let me tell you, I didn't hide Naruto." Terumi Mei heard Tsunade's voice, snorted coldly, cast a glance, and said unceremoniously, "Then I don't care. Anyway, when I saw Naruto, Naruto disappeared after saying a few words to you." Hearing the conversation between Terumi Mei and Tsunade, Naruto understood. It turned out that during the period when she disappeared, Terumi Mei thought that Tsunade hid her 067. so she came to find Tsunade and quarreled with Tsunade. Hearing Terumi Mei's answer, Tsunade snorted angrily and turned his head away. Naruto smiled awkwardly and then said, I want to take care of something. Terumi Mei, how is the situation now? Hearing Naruto's question, Terumi Mei also knew what Naruto was asking. The beautiful eyes turned pale. Naruto took a look, thought for a while, and Terumi Mei replied, My side is fine. Before I came to Konoha, I listened to your reminder and arranged the affairs of the village almost, and prepared for the outbreak of battle. But other big countries were caught off guard by Akatsuki's army. I can't get over it. I don't know what to do. As she said that, Terumi Mei glanced at Tsunade, snorted lightly, and said what she meant, without any concealment of scolding Tsunade and other ninja villages. When Tsunade heard it, he became even more angry and bit his lip angrily. Had it not been for the fact that everyone now has a common enemy, Akatsuki, the irascible Tsunade might be on the move by now. After hearing Terumi Mei's words, Naruto nodded. That's right, before coming to Konoha, Naruto told Terumi Mei that the Fourth Ninja World War is likely to break out next. Terumi Mei also made preparations in advance according to what Naruto said. Even if she is not in Kirigakure, Kirigakure has already been deployed, which can effectively resist the attack of the White Zetsu army. Moreover, Akatsuki's main purpose is to collect tailed beasts. Villages like Mist Shinobi that have no tailed beasts will not be attacked much. But other ninja villages with tailed beasts are the most chaotic place in the war. Naruto thought for a while, then continued to ask, How long has the war started? More than 2 hours. Hearing Terumi Mei's answer, Naruto nodded slightly. 2 hours after the start of the war, the White Zetsu army had already attacked all parts of the ninja world, and Akatsuki's actions were not unpleasant. But Naruto also knows that this is just the beginning, and the next war will be more intense. Before Naruto continued to ask questions, Tsunade came up to introduce the current situation and said, After the war started, the strength of Akatsuki was beyond everyone's expectations. Especially those white puppets. The number of those things may be more than the ninjas in the 5 major ninja villages. Therefore, the 5 major ninja villages now reach an agreement to deal with Akatsuki together. Naruto nodded. Of course he knew how sufficient Akatsuki's army was. That White Zetsu army is as many as Tianwan. And each one, the combat power is generally not low. What's more tricky is that White Zetsu is also good at camouflage, which is a killer tool in a large-scale war. Fortunately, Naruto can easily see through White Zetsu's disguise after mastering the power of 9 tails. Just when Naruto was about to say something, suddenly, a hoarse and wild laughter gradually sounded in everyone's ears. All I heard was a rough and another sharp sound coming from outside the tent. Haha, what White Zetsu said is indeed true. 9 Tails Jinchuriki is indeed here. I can already smell his breath. Haiden, proceed carefully, according to intelligence. There may be more than 9 tails here. Hearing this sharp voice, Tsunade, Naruto, and Terumi Mei were all taken aback. The 2 women looked at each other, as if they had sensed the hostility. Naruto also turned around and walked out of the tent, seeing 2 figures in black robes who sent red to black. One of them, wearing a black mask, looks a bit dark, while the other is carrying a huge sickle. Seeing these 2 people, Naruto recognized them at a glance. These 2 are exactly Haiden and Kakuzu from the Akatsuki organization. Seeing Haiden and Kakuzu appear, Tsunade and Terumi Mei, who just walked out, also frowned. Obviously, they also recognized that these 2 people belong to Akatsuki. Moreover, they also know that the core members of the Du Shao organization, who are wearing the red cloud black robe, are all powerful. Terumi Mei frowned slightly and said solemnly, It's Zhao's person? Naruto looked at Kakuzu and Haiden, nodded and said, I know. He knew that when he first came back, he met White Zetsu. Presumably it was White Zetsu who informed Kakuzu and Haiden of his presence. Therefore, these 2 people will chase here. The purpose of these 2 people is him. That being the case, then Naruto doesn't mind. Here, kill the 2 phoenixes of Akatsuki again. Seeing Naruto appearing together with Tsunade and Terumi Mei, Kakuzu and Haiden were not surprised, but Haiden laughed outrageously. Oh? Looks like it's not just 9 Tails Jinchuriki, but also Konoha's Hokage and Miss Shinobi's Mizukichi. Kakuzu, it looks like you can earn a lot of bounties today. Seeing it, Kakuzu frowned and snorted coldly. Haiden, don't take it lightly. Their strength is not simple. After Haiden heard Kakuzu's reminder, 4.0 didn't take it seriously and laughed loudly, saying, Don't worry, Kakuzu, Lord Cthulhu will bless us. 9 Tails Jinchuriki is so famous now. If you kill him, People in the ninja world will believe in Lord Cthulhu with many people after they know about it. Huh? After Terumi May heard it, she was slightly angry in her heart, snorted coldly, and said, "Hmph. Akatsuki's nose is quite sensitive. However, if you want to capture Naruto, you have to ask me if I agree." With that said, Terumi May was about to step forward and attack the two of them. Just when Terumi May was about to make a move, Naruto reached out, stopped Terumi May, and shook his head. Terumi May was taken aback and looked at Naruto. All I saw was that Naruto's cold eyes fell on Haiden and Kakuzu, and in different voices sounded one after another. "Let me do it." Chapter 137. Seeing the calm killing intent in Naruto's eyes, Terumi May nodded. She also knew that Naruto was going to do it himself. Since Akatsuki took the initiative to come to the door, Naruto would naturally not let them go and entertain them well. After speaking, Naruto took a step forward, with indifferent eyes, facing Kakuzu and Haiden directly. Seeing Naruto's movements, Kakuzu and Haiden also set their sights and attention on Naruto. Haiden kept looking up and down Naruto with unruly eyes, and laughed wildly. Zhang said, "Kakuzu, this is Ninetales Jinchuriki? You're not mistaken, this is just a kid." "Ha ha ha, I don't know how Kisame and Uchiha Itachi lost to this kid." When Kakuzu heard Haiden's words, he frowned, snorted coldly and reprimanded. "Shut your mouth, Haiden, you are loud." Then, Kakuzu focused on Naruto, narrowing his eyes slightly. He doesn't look down on Naruto like Haiden. He has information, and he has heard about Naruto's defeat of 3rd Generation Shadow and 4th Raikage. Even if it is unreal that Itachi and Kisame were defeated, it is not nonsense that 3rd Tsuchikage and 4th Raikage were defeated. That is the shadow of the two major ninja villages, the cards of Rock Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi. Especially those who are very face-saving, they will not easily let this kind of untrue news that sweeps their faces spread out. And now, there is no doubt that the legend of Naruto is passed down in the ninja world. Therefore, Mion is convinced of the authenticity of the intelligence. He also smelled something extraordinary from Naruto. After hearing Haiden's words, Naruto was not angry, but smiled lightly, looked at Haiden, and said calmly, "It's okay, it doesn't matter if you don't know now, you will know soon." Haiden was taken aback, and looked at Naruto in surprise. Then, bloodthirsty emerged in his unruly eyes, like a wild beast. He licked the corner of his mouth, and said with a big smile, "Interesting. Don't worry, I will quickly sacrifice you to Lord Evil God, and you won't feel too much pain." After speaking, Haiden suddenly put down the scythe he was carrying. As soon as the sharp sickle fell, the tip of the knife stuck into the soil. Then, Haiden turned to Kakuzu who was beside him and said, "Kakuzu, don't rob me this time. Let me deal with him myself. I'm going to sacrifice him to Lord Cthulhu. Presumably the blood of Ninetales Jinchuriki will be very delicious. Lord Cthulhu will also be satisfied this time." Sacrifice. Haiden's words made Kakuzu snort coldly, but didn't respond, as if agreeing with Haiden's words. After all, if Haiden is willing to set an example and test the strength of the Ninetales Jinchuriki for him, that would be the best. Kakuzu is also willing to watch the battle for a while. After Haiden saw it, he laughed a few times, then walked towards Naruto, stared at Naruto with bloodthirsty eyes, and said with a smile, "Come on, the ceremony of Lord Cthulhu has begun." After finishing speaking, Haiden gripped the black scythe tightly and rushed towards Naruto. Seeing Haiden rushing over alone, Naruto shook his head and ignored Haiden. Then, Naruto flipped his palm, and Senbonzakura suddenly appeared in his hand. Holding the blade tightly in his hand, he swung it and slashed down lightly. A burst of sword energy suddenly burst out from the sharp blade. Sword chi streaked across the sky and burst out towards Haiden. Haiden was taken aback when he saw it, and immediately realized the great crisis. However, the speed of that sword energy was too fast. It's like lightning bolts. In the blink of an eye, he came to Haiden. Haiden turned pale in shock, and before he could react, he didn't even make any defensive moves. That sword chi chirped. It hit him instantly. Haiden's body was instantly blown away by the powerful force. That sword energy also split a deep bloodstain on Haiden's body. Blood splatter. After flying tens of meters, Haiden stopped, rolled on the ground in pain, and shouted, "Hole. It hurts." When Kakuzu on the side saw it, he was slightly surprised. The seriousness in his eyes became more and more intense. He didn't expect that before Haiden ran to Naruto, he was beaten back by Naruto so quickly and was even stabbed. Moreover, The speed and power of the sword energy just now made him somewhat unexpected. But he wasn't too worried. After all, Haiden was immortal. So if he got hit, he would feel pain at most. All I saw was that after Naruto beheaded Haiden, he looked at the two of them indifferently, with a calm gaze, and said in a cold voice, "You two, let's go together." Hearing Naruto's voice, Haiden got up from the ground immediately, glared at Naruto angrily, and shouted, "You be asterisk 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 D. Don't look down on people too much. Lord Cthulhu will never forgive you." After speaking, Haiden roared again, wanting to attack Naruto again. Kakuzu on the side snorted coldly when he saw it, and stopped watching. He knew that Haiden alone could not do anything to Naruto. After all, Haiden only has an immortal body. If he can't get close to Naruto and get Naruto's 287 blood, he won't be able to exert his maximum ability. That being the case, Kakuzu also decided to join the battle and take down Naruto with Haiden. Immediately, Kakuzu exploded a huge chakra and rushed towards Naruto. Seeing the two of them coming back to him at the same time, Naruto gradually became serious. Just seeing, he took a deep breath. At the same time, fluctuations surged in the surrounding air. The strands of natural energy slowly surged towards Naruto. Naruto's body, like a black hole, tirelessly absorbed these pure powers. Soon, Naruto's whole body was filled with natural energy. This is exactly Sage Mode. That's right, what Naruto will use next is Sage Mode. After acquiring Sage Mode at Mount Mayaboku, Naruto hasn't used this power yet, and now against Kakuzu and Haiden, it's time to try the power of Sage Mode. After seeing the natural energy running through Naruto's whole body, the characteristics of Sage Mode also appeared in the corner of Naruto's eyes. The orange eyeshadow gradually appeared, and Naruto suddenly opened his eyes. The pupils also shone with golden orange arcs. Sage Mode on. Chapter 138. After turning on Sage Mode, the chakra in Naruto's whole body exploded. I just feel that my whole body is full of power, as if a slight movement can cause huge power. Feeling the powerful feeling brought by Sage Mode, Naruto exhaled. Immediately, the golden orange pupils looked at Kakuzu and Haiden who were rushing. The two seemed to have not noticed Naruto's change, and attacked Naruto as usual. All I saw was that after Haiden ran in front of Naruto, the huge scythe rose into the air and cut Naruto's head. Kakuzu is not weak at all, and the speed of making seals in his hands is very fast, and a few ninjutsu are displayed in a short while: fire style, head hard, wind style, oppression. Two powerful ninjutsu are unleashed. I saw Kakuzu suddenly spit out a sea of flames from his mouth. The sea of fire is burning everywhere, and with the increase of wind style ninjutsu, the fire of the sky is even more ferocious. It is like an overwhelming wave, sweeping towards Naruto. Seeing the attacks launched by the two at the same time, Naruto breathed out calmly. Immediately, Naruto's figure flashed and disappeared suddenly. Both Kakuzu and Haiden were taken aback, seeing Naruto who suddenly disappeared. Before they could react, they heard an indifferent voice suddenly sounded in the air. Sage Art. Massive Rasengan. The two were taken aback for a moment, and both looked up involuntarily. All I saw was, above their heads, a Rasengan several meters in size appeared. Rasengan contains extremely powerful power, and its size is as huge as the scorching sun in the sky. Seeing such a huge Rasengan, both Kakuzu and Haiden opened their eyes wide and lost their voices in shock. What the hell is this? Haiden let out a cry. Before they had time to dodge, Naruto suddenly threw the massive Rasengan in his hand down. Boom. The terrifying massive Rasengan blasts the ground. The whole ground felt like it had been bombed. Shake it violently. Then, Tsunade and Terumi Mei, who were not far away, saw it in shock. That massive Rasengan, after bombarding the ground felt like it was under attack. It set off a shocking building. The shock generated by the massive Rasengan, the terrifying power will wrap everything within a radius of 100 meters. A huge storm is coming. Wherever the air waves blow, the trees are all broken, and the flowers and plants are reduced to ashes. That terrifying impact was like a nuclear bomb, destroying everything around it. Even after seeing Tsunade and Terumi Mei, they hurriedly led their subordinates away, for fear of being affected. After the bombing of massive Rasengan, everyone saw this. At the battlefield of Naruto and Kakuzu Haiden, a large pit of tens of meters has appeared. In the big pit, all the flowers, plants, and trees disappeared. Yes, just endless wreckage. Seeing this terrifying scene, everyone couldn't help taking a deep breath. This is the power of Sage Mode. In Sage Mode, any ninjutsu Naruto performs is greatly enhanced. Just casting a Big Ball Rasengan can produce such a huge power. And Big Ball Rasengan, enhanced by chakra in Sage Mode, becomes Massive Rasengan. Both the power and the attack range have been greatly enhanced. It is simply terrifying. Naruto also looked at the scene in front of him with satisfaction. He also didn't expect that the power of Massive Rasengan would be so powerful, 100 times stronger than what Jiraiya used back then. It's no wonder, after all, Sage Mode is boosting under Naruto's own strength. Naruto is already very powerful. With the enhancement of Sage Mode, it is almost even more powerful. After a quick glance, Naruto soon saw Haiden and Kakuzu, who were thrown into a big hole by Massive Rasengan. After Haiden and Kakuzu were bombarded by Massive Rasengan, they were also very embarrassed at the moment. The red cloud and black robes they were wearing became tattered and shards were everywhere. Their bodies were also full of blood, and they were weak like dead dogs and fell into the pit. Haiden and Kakuzu are indeed the undead duo known as the Akatsuki organization. After being bombarded by the Massive Rasengan, they are still conscious. But even so, the two of them are also covered in scars at this moment, unable to move at all, and every muscle and vein on their bodies seems to have been destroyed by Rasengan. I only saw Kakuzu and Haiden at this time. Their eyes were wide open, their pupils were astonished, and they looked at Naruto in disbelief and disbelief. At this time, Haiden has completely lost the arrogant and rich appearance just now, replaced by complete shock and horror. He had no idea that Naruto's strength was so terrifying. Such a terrible move was cast casually, and he was beaten like this. Even though he was immortal, at this moment he was bombarded by Naruto's Massive Rasengan and was completely tattered, weak and unable to move. This is especially true for Kakuzu. At this moment, Kakuzu's heart is also full of shock. Even if he lived for 100 years, he had only seen this kind of terrifying ninjutsu power on two people before. One is Konoha's first Hokage, known as Senju Hashirama, the god of ninjutsu, and the other one is Uchiha Madara. However, at this moment, he saw a third person. That is Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, Uzumaki Naruto. Moreover, Naruto may be even scarier than he imagined. Seeing the shock in Haiden and Kakuzu's eyes, Naruto walked over lightly, looked at Haiden, and said calmly, "Now, you know how Uchiha Itachi and Kisame lost." Hearing Naruto's words, Haiden was stunned for a moment, and suddenly remembered what he said before, and was speechless in shock. At this moment, Haiden finally understands what kind of monster Uchiha Itachi and Kakasame were facing back then. Such a terrifying Naruto, even him, feels a little bit of fear now. Seeing that Haiden and Kakuzu were completely in shock and unable to speak a word, Naruto, Zhao Qianhao, was too lazy to talk to them. Next, it's time to take their lives. I saw. Naruto closed his eyes. When it opened again, the golden-orange pupils had disappeared, replaced by scarlet hexagram-shaped pupils, Mangekyo Sharingan. Seeing the appearance of Mangekyo Sharingan, Kakuzu and Haiden were also taken aback, and they were even more shocked. Before they could react, on Naruto's Mangekyo Sharingan, pupil power exploded. Mangekyo Sharingan's ability, activate. All I saw was that under Naruto's gaze, a mass of black flames suddenly rose from Haiden and Kakuzu's bodies. The black flame is like the fire that destroys the world, and it can burn the level on Kakuzu and Haiden. Feeling the high temperature and terror of the flame, Haiden immediately howled. B**************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************่Get rid of him. However, no matter how Haiden beat the flame, he couldn't extinguish the black flame, because this is the fire of Amaterasu. Chapter 139. That's right, at this moment, Naruto activated the ability of Mangekyo Sharingan, Amaterasu. Naruto knows that Haiden is immortal. Even if his head is cut off, he will not die. Although he didn't know the reason, but Naruto didn't believe it, and burned Haiden to ashes with the fire of Amaterasu, and it was impossible for Haiden to survive. In particular, after absorbing Uchiha Shirsue's pupil power, Naruto's Mangekyo pupil power is greatly strengthened, and the power of Amaterasu's fire is even more terrifying. Haiden couldn't bear it even more. Therefore, Naruto uses Amaterasu without hesitation. After the fire of Amaterasu appeared, Haiden immediately started howling. Kakuzu also had no power to resist. After he was bombarded by Massive Rasengan, only one of the 5 hearts remained on his body, and the remaining few, almost exhausted all the chakra, barely survived under the terrifying power of the Massive Rasengan. Now facing the fire of Amaterasu again, he couldn't bear it after a while and lost his vitality. Burned by the terrifyingly hot Amaterasu fire, Kaku and Haiden are quickly reduced to ashes. After finishing the two, Naruto also turned around and returned to Terumi Mei and Tsunade. Terumi Mei and Tsunade have been completely shocked by Naruto at this moment. Terumi Mei and Samui are fine. After all, this is not the first time they have seen Naruto make a move. However, Tsunade experienced the power of Naruto for the first time. Seeing the devastating massive Rasengan, Tsunade's expression was shocked, as if he had seen the god of ninja back then. No, the current Naruto may be stronger than his grandpa Senju Hashirama. Tsunade couldn't help thinking. Seeing the shocked women, Naruto smiled lightly. Terumi Mei and the others also eased up. Then, I heard Naruto say, "It's not safe here anymore, let's change to another place." Terumi Mei and Tsunade nodded. They also know that since the people from the Shao organization have found this place, it means that this place has been discovered. If you continue to stay, you will only be attacked by Akatsuki frequently. Where do we go next? Terumi Mei asked. Naruto thought for a moment, then replied, "Next, I will go to the front line of the war. Akatsuki's goal is me, and I will solve it myself. You just need to command this war well." After hearing Naruto's words, Terumi Mei and Tsunade nodded. As the shadows of the 5 major ninja villages, the United Ninja Army needs their command, and they also need to sit in the command headquarters. Hearing that Naruto was going to the front line, Terumi Mei said worriedly, "Then you have to be careful." Naruto smiled lightly. "Don't worry, I'll be fine." After speaking, Naruto turned and left. Ninja World War, the front line of the battlefield, which is the junction of the Land of Fire and the Land of Thunder. At this moment, on the vast battlefield, the United Ninja Army is forming together to resist the invasion of the White Zetsu Army. The whole wide battlefield is full of people standing everywhere, and the battle between ninja and White Zetsu is constantly staggered. The bombardment sounds of ninjutsu and explosive symbols also sounded one after another. There are also many ninjas who wailed in pain because of the death of their companions. What's more, it's all the hatred for White Zetsu and Akatsuki's organization, sending out angry roars. When Naruto came here, he couldn't help frowning when he saw the scene here. The battlefield is full of flames and dead bodies are everywhere. Many ninjas were unprepared for White Zetsu's sneak attack and died one after another. And amidst the intense flames of war, there was a colossus sitting in the center of the battlefield. That huge monster looked like a person, but its skin was very dry. Its head was also very ferocious, and there were several eyes on its forehead, which looked very terrifying. Seeing that monster-like creature, Naruto couldn't help raising his head. BHBB, his gaze gradually became serious. That creature is the body of 10 Tails. Geto statue. Unexpectedly, Uchiha Obito summoned Geto statue so quickly. Moreover, several eyes have been opened on the Geto statue. Apparently several tailed beasts have been absorbed. The terrifying Geto statue is located in the center of the battlefield, recklessly harvesting the lives of the surrounding ninjas. Ordinary ninjas simply cannot withstand the attack of the terrible Geto statue. Most of the people around them died at the feet of the terrible Geto statue. On the Geto statue, there are still several figures standing. Those few figures were all wearing red clouds and black robes, and they were obviously members of the Shao organization. One of them is Obito, and the other few, the characteristics are also very obvious, because their pupils exude circles of ripples, and those eyes are impressively the pupil technique of the legendary sage of 6 paths, Rinnegan. Seeing the pair of Rinnegans, Naruto also recognized them at a glance. Those 6 figures are the leader of Akatsuki. Pain. 6, that is Pain 6 Paths. Pain 6 Paths, finally here. Unexpectedly, Pain 6 Paths and Uchiha Obito came to the front line of the battlefield together. Pain 6 Paths and Uchiha Obito stand on the Geto statue, looking down at the combined ninja army below. Suddenly, Uchiha Obito raised his head, and the Sharingan with scarlet eyes turned slowly, looking at a figure standing on the distant peak. The figure with blonde hair and wearing a royal robe is Naruto. Uchiha Obito narrowed his eyes slightly and said lightly, "He's finally here." After Pain heard Uchiha Obito's words, the miraculous Rinnegan also looked at Naruto and nodded. "Is that Nine Tails Jinchuriki?" Uchiha Obito nodded and said slowly, "He'll leave it to you." Tiandao Pain did not refuse. Only Rinnegan's pupil power became stronger and stronger. Their conversation seemed to have been waiting for Naruto for a long time. It is no wonder, after all, that this war was fought around the Jinchuriki and Naruto is their biggest goal. Ninetales Jinchuriki is vital to their plans, and Tiandao Pain also heard about Naruto's strength. Therefore, as the leader of the Akatsuki organization, he decided to capture Ninetales with his own hands. Naruto seemed to be aware of their gaze, and his blue eyes looked lightly. Immediately afterwards, the figure jumped off the peak and fell into the sea of people on the battlefield. At this moment, the Fourth Ninja World War breaks out. Chapter 140. On the main battlefield of the ninja world, there was an endless stream of ninjutsu explosions. The battle sounds of the ninjas from the major ninja villages and white zetsu rang out one after another. Naruto's figure picks up the cliff. However, just as Naruto jumped off the cliff and fell into the noisy flames of war, the surroundings suddenly became quiet. Those white zetsu who were fighting with the ninja seemed to have noticed something. Dozens of white zetsu turned around abruptly, turning their heads to look at Naruto force in the distance. When white zetsu saw Naruto's identity and appearance, a ferocious smile suddenly appeared on that pale face. Each of them laughed as if the plot had succeeded. It's Ninetales Jinchuriki. Ha ha ha, he's finally here. Catch him and we'll win, ha, go. Then, those white zetsu immediately let go of the ninjas in front of them, turned around one by one, went crazy, and rushed towards Naruto desperately, with a very frenzied expression. Those ninjas who were dropped by white zetsu and suddenly stopped fighting saw that white zetsu suddenly abandoned them, shifted their target, and rushed towards a place frantically. They were also stunned and their heads were in a daze. Knowing that they heard what was going on when they heard the roar of the white zetsu army, they suddenly realized what was going on. Immediately, all the ninjas looked at Naruto in the direction of white zetsu. When they saw Naruto's blonde hair and blue eyes, they understood it instantly. Ninetales Jinchuriki, is that Ninetales Jinchuriki? He actually dared to show up. Doesn't he know that white zetsu and Akatsuki are also targeting him? I didn't expect that. The ninjas made surprise voices one by one, discussing about Naruto. After all, after several hours of fighting, they are well aware of the horror and the strength of their troops. This is really a force that dares to challenge the 5 great nations and the ninja world. No matter how strong the Ninetales Jinchuriki is, it is impossible for them to be opponents of such a terrifying force. They also thought that Uzumaki Naruto would hide and never show up. Unexpectedly, Naruto appeared in front of their eyes so soon. Appear in this main battlefield. Naruto also saw the white zetsu around him rushing towards him frantically, and when he saw it, he snorted coldly. Immediately, Naruto's palm formed a mudra, chakra in his body rolled, and he shouted, "Fire style. Extinguish the fire." Words fall. Naruto's cheeks puffed up suddenly, and he spit out a thick flame. As soon as the flame appeared, it spread like a sea of fire in the sky in an instant. Soar into the sky. In an instant, the entire surrounding area was covered in a sea of flames. Not only that, the sea of flames was still spreading, like a storm, sweeping towards the surroundings crazily. When the white zetsu who rushed over saw the sea of flames, all of them turned pale in shock and exhaled. However, don't wait for them to react. The scorching flames engulfed them in an instant, and the terrifying high temperature burned all the white zetsu in the sea of fire in an instant. In a blink of an eye, around Naruto, except for the sea of fire and gravel, white zetsu was no longer visible. One move fire style, clear all the white zetsu around. After seeing this spectacular scene, the faces of the surrounding ninjas were full of shock and showed incredulous expressions. They saw Naruto's fire style fire extinguishing, which is even more powerful than S-rank ninjutsu. The splendor of the sea of flames, the trend and scope of its spread, are bigger than the Uchiha Madara in the original book. After clearing all the white zetsu, Naruto's gaze also looked at the Geto statue in the distance. Pen 6 paths on the Geto statue saw Naruto joining the battlefield. Tiandao Pain snorted coldly, led the remaining 5 paths, jumped off Geto statue's body, and rushed to Naruto's side. Seeing Pain approaching, Naruto narrowed his eyes and frowned slightly. Soon, Pain's 6 paths came to Naruto. Seeing 6 men in red cloud and black robes suddenly join the battlefield, the ninjas on the side were also stunned. Immediately, their spirits tensed up, they focused all their attention, and stared at Pain's 6 paths solemnly and cautiously. All the ninjas also know that those men in the red clouds and black robes are not good-natured stubbles, not idlers. After Tiandao Pain appeared, he took a step forward and came to Naruto. The miraculous Rinnegan exudes powerful waves, staring at Naruto's figure. Ask for flowers. Then, Tendo Pain stared at Naruto and made an indifferent voice. You finally came? I've been waiting for you for a long time. Uzumaki Naruto. Looking at Spoon Pain's 6 paths, Naruto also narrowed his eyes. He knew that this was the leader of the Akatsuki organization, also the one with the Rinnegan. Its strength is so strong that it is one of the few in the ninja world. Hearing Tiandao Pain's voice, Naruto frowned and said lightly, yeah. Tiandao Pain nodded. The pair of Rinnegans, exuding purple light, stared at Naruto, as if looking at Naruto, trying to see through Naruto. Then, Tiandao Pain said, Uzumaki Naruto, join us. 00 Naruto was stunned for a moment, and he couldn't help looking at Pain in surprise when he heard Tiandao Pain's words. Before he could speak, Tendo Pain Yahiko continued, I know your experience. You, like me, are chosen by God. We all grow and hone in pain, and God has chosen us to save this world. So, join Shao, let us complete this great plan together. Naruto looked at Pain in surprise. He never expected that the first time he saw Pain. It was actually Pain who wanted to win him over. Naruto didn't speak, and looked at Pain indifferently. Tiandao Yahiko didn't care about Naruto's silence. Instead, those Rinnegan eyes looked at the tragic battlefield in the distance. Then Pain continued, look at this hopeless world. Look at this painful battlefield. Do you know why the 5 great powers that have been fighting for decades can now unite? Because they feel the pain. Feel the pain. Ignorant and ignorant children. Only pain can make them grow, and only pain can make them grow up. This world is immature, so we let the world feel the pain. Let the world understand the pain. Let everyone accept the pain. Only in this way, the world will mature, and peace in the ninja world will truly come. In other words, only those ninjas who know the pain of war will no longer want to launch a war sword. Chapter 141. The world can only grow if it suffers. Peace in the ninja world can only be ushered in by pain. Ordinary people don't understand the meaning of this, but I know, you can understand. Because you also grew up from pain, from darkness. You are chosen by God. Uzumaki Naruto. Pain's majestic voice, like a trial, resounded throughout the battlefield. When the ninjas around heard it, they opened their eyes wide with horror. They now understood what Akatsuki wanted to do. Akatsuki, to destroy the ninja world. There are also many ninjas, very ferocious, with painful expressions. Because it is precisely because of this war that they lost their companions and loved ones, lost the meaning of life. However, what Pain said about 630 is not unreasonable. Because it is this war, this ninja world war, that can unite the 5 great powers to fight against the enemy together. It is precisely because of a common enemy that the entire ninja world can feel the threat of pain, so they can share the same hatred. Everyone in the ninja world was very unwilling, and would never sit back and watch Pain do this. After Naruto heard Pain's words, he looked at Pain indifferently and did not speak. Indeed, as Pain said, he did the same thing as Pain. That is to destroy Konoha. Back then, Konoha's high-level officials were corrupt and the darkness was boundless. Under such an environment of endless pain, he was born. The birth of Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. It is also the sprout that destroys Konoha. That's why Naruto will destroy it. This kind of village doesn't need to exist. It doesn't need to exist either. Everything, he destroys it all. However, even so, Naruto did not easily agree to Pain's solicitation, because he knew that Pain was just a pawn. Even the entire Akatsuki organization is a puppet. Their purpose is not just to destroy the ninja world. Their real plan is to make everyone fall into the illusion, cast infinite Tsukuyami, and create a fantasy world. This kind of thinking is undoubtedly very stupid in Naruto's eyes, and Naruto will not agree with it. Because that world is not the real world at all. The environment, how can it be compared with reality? In reality, everything that happens will be more real. Moreover, Naruto does not need to do this. He has his own ideas and means. If one day, he will become the one who destroys the world, then, he will use his power to end all this. Instead of borrowing a tail beast, use false illusions to rule the ninja world. What's more, Pain didn't know the truth of the matter at all. His purpose was just the tailed beast in Naruto's body. Want to capture Nine Tails, to complete his so-called Yamato plan. How could Naruto agree with this idea? One day, he will use his own power to personally change this ninja world. Let the world usher in change. Thinking about it, Naruto let out a breath. His eyes were bright and solemn. He stared at Pain and said lightly, I don't need to cooperate with you. and I don't need to be in alliance with the Shao organization. You and I have different ideas, and I have no common purpose with you. It is useless to say more. Pain was slightly taken aback when he heard Naruto's words. That Rinnegan exuded fluctuations, narrowed his eyes slightly, and the murderous look in his eyes gradually appeared, and then he heard Pain say indifferently, "Yeah, I thought you would understand and would take the initiative to hand over Nine Tails to me. It seems that we still can't avoid World War I." As he said that, Tendo Pain's body gradually rose into the air, standing in the air like a god, looking down at Naruto. All the ninjas present were shocked when they saw that Akatsuki's leader was able to stand in the sky. Then, Tendo Pain Yahiko opened his hands, looked down at Naruto, and said lightly, "Since this is the case, it will only make you feel the pain again. In this way, you can wake up and agree with Akatsuki's plan. Feel the pain." Uzumaki Naruto. After finishing speaking, a powerful chakra suddenly burst out from the Tiandao Pain. The surging chakra soared into the sky, blowing around like waves of wind and waves. The ninjas next to them felt this powerful breath, and they all felt that they were blown by a strong wind, and they took a few steps back unbearably. Pain with Rinnegan is indeed powerful. This breath alone is like the vast Wangyang, which is unmatched by ordinary people. Feeling the powerful power of Pain, Naruto didn't fluctuate too much, just looked at Pain in the sky lightly, and said, "Come on, let me see what Rinnegan is capable of." Pain snorted coldly, raised his palm, aimed at Naruto, and shouted coldly, "Shinluo Tianjin." A powerful repulsive force suddenly erupted from Tiandao Pain's palm. The repulsive force spread and went straight to Naruto. Seeing this, Naruto suddenly raised his hand, waved his hand, and a transparent light barrier suddenly appeared. The light barrier descended across the sky, standing in front of the repulsive force, blocking all the repulsive force. Two forces erupted, and there was a bang. The terrifying power fluctuations shocked the surrounding ninjas. This is the confrontation of the strong. Akatsuki's leader, Pain, battles the pinnacle of the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. White Zetsu, who gathered from all directions, was also dumbfounded watching the fight between the two. Now, White Zetsu and the ninjas from various countries in the ninja world did not confront each other. Instead, they just watched Naruto and Pain from afar in amazement. Because they know that in this 3.1 war, they are all ants. No matter how much victory they achieved, those two people, with a wave of their hands, would be a catastrophe for them. Therefore, they who are around need to be careful and quickly stay away from the battlefield to save their lives. By the way, let's also observe this top-level battle. After all, it is not easy to see such a strong ninja fight against each other. Although they can't participate in it, just watching it for a few times is enough to open their eyes and gain a lot. This is the pinnacle duel between the two powerhouses in the ninja world. This battle is destined to be very exciting. It will also be recorded in the history of the ninja world. It will be remembered by everyone present. Akatsuki's Pain and Pain's Six Paths. The battle with Naruto is finally about to begin. Chapter 142. Tiandao Pain was slightly surprised to see Naruto block the repulsive impact of Shinluo Tianjin. It seems unexpected that Naruto can defend the next shift. Then, Tiandao Pain frowned, snorted coldly, and waved his hand. The 5 Pain Underground immediately launched an attack as if ordered. All I could see was that Shura Dao Pain was the first to act. His ferocious body suddenly half-folded. His body twisted for a while, and several machine guns and missiles instantly appeared on each of the supplementary positions. As soon as the machine guns and missiles appeared, they fired at Naruto, and the bullets also exploded at Naruto with a bang. Seeing this, Naruto also raised his hand, and the palm of his hand was rolling with thunder and lightning, and he gave a weak drink. Kaido no 63, Fiery Lightning Howl. The fiery lightning howl formed by lightning burst out from Naruto's palm, collide with the incoming missile. At the same time, that beast, Dao Pain, did not hesitate and made seals with his hands and slapped him hard. Summoning technique? As the words fell, a huge puff of smoke rose. Out of the smoke, a 3-headed hellhound and a huge rhino rushed out. As soon as the huge rhinoceros and 3 hellhounds appeared, they roared ferociously and rushed towards Naruto. However, when these 2 huge, summoning beasts rushed in front of Naruto, everyone was shocked to find that a huge group of white light gathered in Naruto's hands at some point. The white light shone like a scorching sun, and the chakra contained in it was even more violent, spinning at the speed of light, and the wind blades of shurikens appeared around it. As soon as the white light appeared, there was an ear-piercing buzzing sound. The buzzing sound resounded through the sky, causing everyone to look at Naruto in astonishment. Then, I heard Naruto drink lightly. Wind style. Spiral Shuriken. As soon as the spiral Shuriken came out, Naruto stepped on his feet. His body flew into the air and smashed towards the 3 hellhounds and white rhinos rushing under his feet. After the berserk spiral Shuriken bombarded the 3 hellhounds and the rhinoceros, a terrifying power erupted. That white light was like the light of the doomsday, instantly devouring the 2 huge summoning beasts. After the white light engulfed it, the terrifying power of the spiral Shuriken suddenly exploded. Countless chakra are like sharp needles and threads, piercing the body of summoning beast. The 2 summoning beasts couldn't bear the terrifying power of the spiral Shuriken at all, so they wailed in pain. Suddenly, bang! The huge rhino was the first to be unable to withstand the power of the spiral Shuriken, and turned into a puff of white mist with a bang, disappearing instantly. And the hell 3-headed dog was hit by the spiral Shuriken. After the bombardment, it was also in a mess, and all the veins on its body were destroyed. Even the skin was bloody. However, the recovery power of the 3-headed dog is also amazing. After enduring the spill of the spiral Shuriken, the skin on his surface is slowly recovering. The 3 heads seem to have separate schedules. Split. The hell 3-headed dog actually suffered such a big injury and wanted to split its body to ease the injury. Seeing this, Naruto snorted coldly. He knew the ability of the hell 3-headed dog, and also knew the recovery ability and splitting ability of the hell 3-headed dog. However, the hell 3-headed dog wants to split in front of him. It is a fool's dream. Immediately, Naruto raised his palm and shook it suddenly. Don't give the 3-headed dog a chance to split at all. Only seen with Naruto palm down. A huge black coffin fell from the sky, instantly enveloping the hell 3-headed dog. Kaido no 90, black coffin. After the black coffin enveloped the hell 3-headed dog, the energy inside poured out towards the Hell Master like a berserk factor. The 3-headed hellhound couldn't bear the terrifying power of black coffin at all, and howled out bursts of wailing. And, not only that, black coffin is not only bombing the 3-headed dog, the terrifying power fluctuations in it, but also wants to completely wipe out the 3-headed dog. Let the hell 3-headed dog and black coffin be completely reduced to ashes. Sure enough, when the huge black coffin disappeared, the 3-headed dog also completely disappeared. That huge body, at this moment, is completely inside the black coffin, turning into a bright red dance of blood, drifting away and disappearing. Seeing his powerful summoning beast, the 3-headed hellhound was dealt with so quickly, the animal Dao Pain was also stunned, looking at Naruto in astonishment. However, Naruto has just finished dealing with the 3-headed dog, and he hasn't waited for the other Pain to react. I just saw, in an instant, Naruto's pupils suddenly changed, and the blue pupils suddenly turned into scarlet Mangekyo Sharingan. When Mangekyo Sharingan appeared, his pupils flashed red. Immediately, Dao Pain was stunned to see that a middle-aged man in Pain's 6 paths looked like Pain, and a black flame suddenly burned on his body. The black flames were blazing, burning Pain's body. No matter what methods Pain used, he couldn't extinguish it. And that Pain is also the most critical Hell Road Pain in Pain's 6 paths. Naruto knows what the abilities of the 6 pins are. We also know that Hell Dao Pain can revive other Pain. If Hell Dao is not dealt with first, then other Pain will reappear even if they are defeated. Therefore, as soon as Naruto makes a move, he directly uses the ability of Mangekyo Sharingan, Amaterasu. Solve Hell Dao Pain. The fire of Amaterasu burns very quickly, burning Hell Dao Pain into ashes in no time. Even the hungry Kido, who can absorb chakra, is too late to rescue. Seeing that Hell Dao Pin was dealt with by Naruto, other Pin seems to have risen a little too. Dao Pain never, Li Wang's, thought that Naruto's strength would be so powerful, nor did he think that Naruto seemed to know them very well. Every time he made a shot, he would prescribe the right medicine, break their most critical defense. Even Hell has been solved by Naruto. It just made them very angry. Pain has never been so embarrassed since the 6 paths shot. Immediately, Pain's 6 paths also decided not to hold back anymore, and shot with all their might. I saw that Dao Pain snorted coldly, and his body suddenly leaned forward towards Naruto, rushing suddenly. At the same time, the palm of the hand suddenly raised, aiming at Naruto. Universal pull. A strong attraction came from Dao Pain's palm, forcing Naruto, wanting to suck Naruto over. At the same time, Hungry Kido and Shura Dao shot at the same time, stepped forward together, rushed towards Naruto, and wanted to join forces to take Naruto down. Chapter 143. Seeing Kido and Shura Dao rushing towards him, Naruto also congealed his kidneys. He knows what the Kido is capable of. Hungry Kido can absorb chakra, absorb ninjutsu. As long as the Hungry Kido approaches, the Hungry Kido can drain the chakra energy from the target and turn it into his nourishment. Therefore, Naruto will definitely not let the Hungry Kido succeed. Tiandao Pain wants to use the ability of Universal Pull to suck himself next to the Hungry Kido. Naruto snorted coldly, and the Scarlet Mangekyo Sharingan pupils flashed. Mangekyo Sharingan's ability activated again. Amaterasu. On the Mangekyo Sharingan, black flames appeared. In an instant, a black flame suddenly burned in Tiandao Pain's hand. Tiandao Pain was stunned for a moment. Knowing the horror of the black flame, he quickly stopped the Universal Pull and instantly cast Shinluo Tianjung, ejecting Amaterasu's flame. After the Universal Pull's ability disappeared, Naruto also stabilized his body, looked at the Hungry Kido and Hell Road, took another deep breath, and chakra burst out. I saw Naruto's palm, and Zanpakuto Senbonzakura instantly appeared in Naruto's hand. Then, Naruto said indifferently, 153 Bankai, Senbonzakura Kageyoshi. In an instant, Senbonzakura's blade fell to the ground, and the ground sank into Senbonzakura's blade like water. Immediately afterwards, countless wide and long blades rose from Naruto's feet. All the blades shatter like a mirror. Suddenly, thousands of sakura flowers appear. After the sakura flowers appeared, all the sakura flowers rushed to the sky and circled around Naruto to protect Naruto. Seeing the sea of flowers springing up all over the sky, Hungry Kido and Hell Dao were also taken aback. Before they could react, all the sakura flowers formed by Senbonzakura Bankai, under the control of Naruto, turned into sharp blades, pouring towards the two pins like a torrential rain. Seeing this, the two pains also turned pale in shock. But they have no time to dodge. In an instant, the wave of sakura flowers completely surrounded the two of them, wrapping them up. The petals were like sharp blades, rushing towards the two of them non-stop, harvesting their lives. Although Hungry Kido can absorb chakra and ninjutsu, the thousands of sakura flowers formed by Senbonzakura Bankai are actually sharp blades. How could BHFD be absorbed by Hungry Kido? Sakura Hanami's attack, they can't resolve it at all. Soon, the two pain were engulfed by thousands of sakura flowers and were completely destroyed. The clarinet tubes used to deliver chakra on their bodies were also cut into pieces by the sakura flower sea and disappeared completely. The two pain also fell to the ground with a bang, unable to move anymore. Seeing that Naruto defeated the two pain again, Tiandao Pain was stunned for a moment, and before he could react, Naruto made another move and started the next wave of attack. I saw Naruto looking coldly at the rest of the world and the beast, Pain. That sharp gaze, Lu Shashin, made Dao and the beast leader Pain shudder when they noticed it. However, before they had time to react and move, Naruto's figure suddenly disappeared. Next moment, they instantly appeared in front of the human world and the animal world. The faces of the human world and the animal world suddenly changed. They had no idea that Naruto's speed was so fast. Appeared in an instant like thunder and lightning. Naruto didn't give Pain any time to react. As soon as he appeared, a big ball Rasengan appeared on both hands who didn't know when he was ready. After the big ball Rasengan was condensed, Naruto slapped the two Pain with one hand each. Boom. Huge big ball Rasengan behind both pins. The two Pain were immediately knocked down to the ground. The powerful force caused the entire ground to be blasted into a big hole. The human way and the animal way, Pain, were also beheaded by Naruto here. Because of the terrifying power of Big Ball Rasengan, both of them had swirling vortexes. With one shot, within a short period of time, 5 paths of Pain were beheaded one after another. Immediately, Naruto raised his head, looked indifferently at Tiandao Pain standing in the air, and said lightly, "Next, it's you." After Tiandao Pain heard Naruto's words, he also reacted. He glanced at the 5 different Pain lying on the ground, and Rinnegan instantly burst into great anger. Then, Tiandao Pain stared at Naruto coldly. The killing intent in his eyes fluctuated, which was self-evident. I didn't expect that Nine Tails Jinchuriki would grow to this extent. However, you've stopped here. Call, Ghetto Statue. Tiandao Pain suddenly slapped his hands together and put his palms together, angrily roaring. Words fall. All I saw was a bang. At the foot of Tiandao Pain, a ferocious and terrifying monster suddenly appeared. That monster was like a skinny giant, with its abyss-like mouth wide open. As soon as it appeared, it roared wildly, venting its anger. This monster is Ghetto Statue, and the Ghetto Statue in the distance has also disappeared, apparently summoned here by Pain. After Ghetto Statue appeared, that huge and broad palm slammed down on the ground, and his huge body rose from the ground. The whole body is tens of meters high. No, not only that, his feet are not out yet. Suddenly, Ghetto Statue grabbed the palm of his hand violently and immediately grabbed the surrounding ninjas. When the surrounding ninjas saw the terrifying Ghetto Statue, they all wailed and terrified and quickly backed away. In the face of such a huge monster, they have no power to resist. After Ghetto Statue caught a few ninjas, he opened his ferocious mouth and swallowed the ninjas in his hands. Those ninjas were swallowed by Ghetto Statue as if they had become the nourishment of Ghetto Statue into chakra energy. After eating a few ninjas, Ghetto Statue roared and yelled again. Then, the hideous and terrifying head stared at Naruto, and the opened eyes on the forehead seemed to be looking at food. I want to devour Naruto like just now. Seeing Ghetto Statue appear, Naruto frowned, but he didn't panic either. Instead, Naruto also made madras with both hands, bit his finger, cast summoning, and slapped the ground. Tiandao Pain was stunned when he saw Naruto's action, but after feeling Naruto's seal, the chakra in his body surged like a sea of King Yang. Tiandao Pain's face changed suddenly. He seemed to have noticed something. Then, he heard Naruto suddenly shouted, "Summoning technique, come out, tail." Chapter 144. Come out, Nine Tails. Naruto suddenly shouted loudly. Sound down. Bang. Huge smoke comes out. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw in astonishment that a fiery red sharp claw stretched out from the smoke and slammed it on the ground. Boom. After the flaming claws slapped the ground, the terrifying power caused the ground to vibrate. Then, roar. After the sharp claws appeared, there was a roaring sound in the smoke. The roar sounded like a shocking sound, spreading towards the surroundings like sound waves rolling through the air. When the surrounding ninjas heard the deafening roar, they all covered their ears with tingling pain, unbearable. And that terrifying roar, like a hurricane, June 27th, blew away the surrounding smoke. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw clearly the face of the huge creature in the smoke. It was a gigantic monster with a height of tens of meters, fiery red fur, sharp claws, sharp fangs, and blood-red pupils. Let the ninjas around you feel creepy after seeing it, especially seeing that the fangs spit out a flame-like red breath, and the 9 fiery red tails behind them are shaking wantonly, like a mountain quake and a tsunami. Every time it shakes, people can feel the endless chakra in this huge creature surging. Seeing this behemoth, everyone opened their eyes wide and their pupils shook. In the depths of those eyes, there is incredible and unbelievable shock, because, even though it was the first time they met, but those conspicuous features made everyone recognize them at a glance. That's Nine Tails. Nine Tails Demon Fox, the leader of tailed beasts. Known as the existence of natural disasters, Nine Tails now comes in front of them all. And not only that, on the head of Nine Tails, above the fiery red fur, stood a figure. The figure had blonde hair and was wearing a royal robe. The corners of the clothes were blown by the hurricane, making a rustling sound. And the young man's blue eyes are just looking down at everyone, looking down at Pain. It is Naruto. I saw Naruto standing on the head of Nine Tails, looking down at everyone in the ninja world, and also looking at Tiandao Pain and Ghetto Statue indifferently. Seeing this scene, everyone opened their eyes wide. Some can't believe it, because someone can summon Nine Tails. That's the head of the tailed beast. At this moment, one person and one fox have completely descended into the ninja world. Come to this battlefield. Seeing that Naruto actually summoned Nine Tails, Tiandao Pain also opened his eyes wide in disbelief. He couldn't imagine that Naruto could summon Nine Tails. Was it a contract with Nine Tails? As far as he knows, Uchiha Madara is the only one in the ninja world who has signed a contract with Nine Tails. Moreover, Uchiha Madara still uses Mangekyo Sharingan to control Nine Tails and induce Nine Tails to sign the contract. But at this moment, he didn't feel any fluctuation of pupil power at all. I didn't even see Mangekyo Sharingan appearing. The pupils of Ninetales are also blood red in color, so it's normal. This means that Ninetales appeared according to their own consciousness, and Naruto, summoned Ninetales, stood on Ninetales, looking down at them. How can this be? That's right. Just as Tiandao Pain thought. Ninetales appeared according to their own consciousness to help Naruto. Naruto doesn't control Ninetales either. He signed a contract with Ninetales a long time ago, even shortly after communicating with Ninetales for the first time. Moreover, after summoning Ninetales, Naruto was not affected at all. After all, he has the power of other tailed beasts inside him. At this moment, Naruto looked at the shocked Tiandao Pain and said lightly, "Come on, Pin." When Tiandao Pain heard this, he frowned and snorted coldly. "I didn't expect you to be able to summon Ninetales. Humph. I'm really surprised." However, in front of Geto's statue, summoning Tails is simply asking for death. Immediately, Tiandao Pain waved his hand. All I could see was that hideous Geto statue suddenly opening its abyss-like dark mouth. Dozens of blue chains suddenly spit out from the mouth. The blue chains seem to have magical powers, and they aim at Ninetales and plunder them madly like they have found their target. As if wanting to lock Ninetales' body and devour Ninetales. Ninetales frowned when he saw the Geto statue not far away, especially when he saw the blue chain with sealing power spat out by the Geto statue, and shouted, "Boy, you can be considered to have summoned me. However, the thing you asked me to deal with is a bit tricky." Naruto knew that the chain spit out by Geto statue could seal the power of Ninetales, which made Ninetales very afraid. But since he summoned Ninetales, he has already thought of this kind of situation and has a way to deal with it. Immediately, Naruto said lightly, "No problem." After speaking, Naruto waved his hand. The blue eyes suddenly changed. Mangekyo Sharingan, open. After the scarlet hexagram-shaped Mangekyo appeared, the power of the pupils on Naruto's pupils exploded in an instant. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw in astonishment, from the feet of Ninetales, a huge golden chakra rose from the ground. The golden chakra soared into the sky, burning fiercely like a flame. As soon as it appears, cover Ninetales. Form a golden suit of chakra armor. As soon as the golden armor appeared, Ninetales suddenly roared 0.2, and the aura also increased suddenly. Susanoo. That's right, this is Naruto's Susanoo ability. And, under the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, the full-body Susanoo, Ninetales looked divine in Susanoo's golden armor. The powerful Susanoo covers the surface of Ninetales and also gives Ninetales a huge buff. Power, even more terrifying. The breath of Ninetales burst out suddenly. At this moment, Ninetales also sensed the strength of Susanoo on her body. With the protection of the perfect body Susanoo, he doesn't seem to be afraid of Geto statue's chains anymore. Immediately, after Ninetales roared, his blood-red eyes suddenly met Geto statue. The battle between Ninetales and Geto statue is in full swing. Chapter 145. All I saw was that dozens of chains spewed out from the hideous Geto statue, rushing towards Ninetales. And Ninetales was not afraid, wearing Susanoo, suddenly raised his huge body and grabbed the thick chain with sharp claws. Immediately afterwards, Ninetales pulled Geto statue over with all his strength. The moment Gadu statue was pulled over, Ninetales' other paw was also raised by Hurongan, and it slammed down on Gadu statue. Boom! The huge Gadu statue was immediately knocked down by Ninetales. The ground was smashed into a deep pit because of the terrifying force. Tiandao Pain on the Geto statue hastily dodged and jumped out, watching this scene in shock. He had no idea that the body of Tintails, Geto statue, who was also known as the nemesis of tailed beasts, was knocked to the ground by Ninetales at this moment and suffered a heavy blow. What's more, Ninetales' huge body, wrapped in the sacred Susanoo armor, is not at all affected by the chains that seal the tail beast chakra on the Geto statue. How can this be? Pain, I can't believe it. Moreover, you must know that Geto statue has already absorbed the power of several tailed beasts. The terrifying power in its body is unimaginable. But even so, he was still slapped to the ground by Ninetales. Heavenly Daopain is shocked by it. This is the terrifying strength of Ninetales under the boost of Susanoo. Under Susanoo's protection, the Geto statue's sealing power couldn't penetrate Susanoo's coat at all, affecting Ninetales. Ninetales can also unscrupulously attack the Geto statue. And not only that, with Susanoo's boost, both strength and speed of Ninetales have been greatly enhanced. It is simply several times before. Rao Ghetto statue has absorbed several chakra of the tailed beast, but still can't stand the terrible power of Nine Tails with Susanu's boost. So, up front, the Nine Tails take on the Ghetto statue and have the upper hand. It even smashed Ghetto statue to the ground. Tiandao Pain watched this scene in shock. After blasting Ghetto statue to the ground, Nine Tails also laughed heartily. Looking at the golden holy armor on his body, he laughed loudly and said, "Naruto, your chakra armor is quite useful. It can block those chains." Naruto smiled faintly. That's the perfect Susanoo. It was cast with eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Especially, after absorbing Shisui's pupil power, Mangekyo Sharingan's pupil power is stronger. Susanoo's power also increases accordingly. And the strength of the full-body Susanoo is even more unimaginable. So, with Susanoo's enhanced Nine Tails, it should come as no surprise that they can take down Ghetto statue with ease. Even if Ghetto statue has absorbed the power of several big-tailed beasts, it is still no match for the current 5 tails. After Ghetto statue was slapped to the ground by 9 tails, as if he felt humiliated, he roared ferociously and angrily. As the body of 10 tails, how could he be willing to be defeated by mere 9 tails? Immediately, Ghetto statue roared and struggled to stand up. His hideous mouth opened suddenly, condensing endless power, only to see countless chakra condensed towards Ghetto statue's mouth. Yin-yang chakra is condensed in the ratio of 8:1. In the blink of an eye, a huge black ball suddenly appeared. That's Tailed Beast Bomb. After absorbing the power of several tailed beasts, Ghetto statue is apparently capable of casting Tailed Beast Bomb. Moreover, this Tailed Beast Bomb is the condensation of several big tailed beast chakra, and its power is even greater. After the Tailed Beast Bomb appeared, it grew bigger and bigger, and finally it was as big as a meteorite, filling the entire sky. Seeing such a huge Tailed Beast Bomb, the surrounding ninjas paled in horror, with fear in their eyes, and hurriedly fled the surroundings. If such a terrifying Tailed Beast Bomb exploded here, the entire battlefield would probably be razed to the ground. They will also be destroyed in an instant. The power contained in such a huge Tailed Beast Bomb is simply a devastating existence. Seeing the Tailed Beast Bomb condensed from the Ghetto statue, Nine Tails squinted his eyes, raised his head, and prepared to condense the Tailed Beast Bomb to fight Ghetto statue. However, at this moment, Naruto suddenly said, "Let me?" Nine Tails was taken aback and looked at Naruto in surprise. He didn't know what Naruto was going to do. You know, it's a Tailed Beast Bomb condensed with the combined power of several tailed beasts. Its power is simply beyond the reach of ordinary ninjas. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw it. In Naruto's hand, a pitch-black gun appeared at some point. The gun is very tall, almost the same size as Naruto's body. The pitch-black gun barrel was aimed at the body of 10 tails, and then, the light shone on the muzzle. It is Emperor Island Pumpkin Romance Fortress. Facing the Tailed Beast Bomb cast by Ghetto statue, Naruto is also preparing to use the Teigu Romance Fort to deal with this blow. You must know that the Teigu Pumpkin Romance Fortress, the stronger the mental power of the user, the stronger the power. Moreover, the power will be enhanced along with the user's situation. Teigu users, the more dangerous the situation, the more terrifying the power. Therefore, at this time, 697 Naruto chose to take Teigu out. After all, after awakening Mangekyo Sharingan, his pupil power has been absorbed and strengthened, and his mental power has also become incomparable. And the current situation is also very dangerous. Up next is Ghetto statue's Tailed Beast Bomb. Now is undoubtedly the best time to show the power of the Romantic Fort. I saw that Naruto was not afraid. Holding the Teigu Romantic Fort with both hands, the muzzle is aimed at the statue of the outsider. Just when the Tailed Beast Bomb of the Ghetto statue exploded, it was about to hit Naruto. The gun barrel of the Romantic Fort also suddenly lit up with red heat. The light on the muzzle of the gun has also become extremely shining and bright at this moment. Then, in an instant, a thick red laser beam, almost like a huge Tailed Beast Bomb, burst out from the muzzle of the Romance Fortress. Laser across the sky. Slam into the Tailed Beast Bomb unleashed by the Ghetto statue. See only for a moment. Romance Turret's terrifying laser collides with Ghetto statue's Tailed Beast Bomb. Two terrifying forces erupt. Boom. Air vibrations. A huge black-red mushroom cloud appeared all over the sky. Chapter 146. All I saw was a bang. The red laser from the Romantic Turret collided with the Tailed Beast Bomb released by Ghetto statue in the air. After the two terrifying forces collided, a terrifying power erupted. The whole space is trembling. The surrounding air is about to be evaporated, and the space becomes distorted. Then, everyone will see. After the two terrifying forces erupted, a terrifying black air wave suddenly spread from it. Attack. In the sky, a huge black-red mushroom cloud appeared. That terrifying black air wave, like a world-destructing storm, crazily swept across and spread around. Wherever it is affected by this air wave, the trees are all destroyed. Even, all ninjas cannot resist this mark. Sensing the horror of the black air wave, the surrounding ninjas suddenly changed color, turned around and ran away, trying to get away. This storm is terrible. This is the impact of the collision between the tailed beast bomb and the romantic fort, and it is also the aftermath of the power pouring out. After letting them feel it, they all know that as long as they get a little bit involved, they will be destroyed in an instant, and there will be no scum left. Tiandao Pain stood in the sky, watching this scene in shock. He had no idea that Naruto could block Geto Statue's tailed beast bomb. That is the terrifying tailed beast bomb condensed from chakra that has absorbed several tailed beasts, powerful enough to destroy a mountain. However, at this moment, it was blocked by Naruto. Still with the strength of one person, Nine Tails also opened her eyes wide, stunned and unable to believe it. He has realized how terrifying the power contained in the tailed beast bomb is. It cannot be countered by manpower. However, at this moment Naruto broke his cognition, used his own power to fight the tailed beast bomb. Not only that, the aurora of the romantic fort is still pouring out. The muzzle of the cannon is also shining brighter and brighter. Like the aurora, it's so bright. Immediately afterwards, the next moment, the power of the laser fired from the turret increased. The tailed beast bomb released in the air seemed to be unable to withstand the red laser light from the romantic fort, and it was about to fall and shatter. Tiandao Pain was taken aback before he could react. The next moment, he saw it in horror. The terrifying laser beam that erupted from the romantic fort crossed the sky in an instant. Defeat Geto Statue's tailed beast bomb. The laser flashed past, directly piercing the tailed beast bomb, completely crushing it. Even, chakra inside the tailed beast bomb was completely swallowed by the thick red light. Tailed beast bomb, completely shattered. How can this be? Tiandao Pain opened his eyes wide in disbelief. Nine Tails' mouth also opened in astonishment. Geto Statue's tailed beast bomb is no match for the power of Naruto's romantic fortress. They are simply amazing. However, the red laser is still pouring out. After seeing the tailed beast bomb, that terrifying aurora erupts, heading straight for the Geto Statue. Moment. The terrifying laser hits the Geto Statue in an instant. Geto Statue was suddenly blasted by the laser. The body exploded out, flying tens of meters violently. Boom. I only saw that after the Geto Statue was bombarded by lasers, its huge body flew hundreds of meters before stopping. The surrounding ground has been dragged out of a deep pit by the Geto Statue. On Geto Statue's body, a blood-colored sky hole also appeared, as if being bombarded by a romantic fort. Seeing this scene, Tiandao Pain, the surrounding ninjas, and Nine Tails were completely shocked. They didn't dare to imagine that someone could compete with tailed beast bomb. What made Tiandao Pain even more unexpected was that even Geto Statue couldn't withstand the terrible blow of Naruto's romantic fort. The huge body is pierced. Although Tiandao Pain knows that Geto Statue's vitality is very strong, even if a big hole is opened, it can slowly recover. However, Geto Statue was seriously injured by Naruto, and it will take a long time to recover. Before he could react, after seeing Naruto take back the romantic fort after solving Geto Statue, he turned his eyes to Tiandao Pain and said lightly, "Next, it's you." Pain. Pain was taken aback for a moment, and immediately, the astonishment on his face disappeared, replaced by incomparable anger. Immediately afterwards, Tiandao Pain shouted angrily, looked at Naruto angrily, and shouted, "Little devil, don't think that I can't deal with you after solving Geto Statue. Don't be too arrogant." Words fall. I only saw Tiandao Pain clapping his hands suddenly. The chakra on his body suddenly exploded. Rinnegan's pupil power has also become stronger. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw the moment when Tiandao Pain opened his hand. In the palms of the combined hands, a black ball suddenly appeared. The black ball looks like nothing, but in fact, the power contained in it is extremely terrifying. It seems to be mixed with countless gravitational forces. The surrounding earth is trembling faintly. Then, Tiandao Pain spread his hands and threw the black ball violently. The black ball flew into the air and merged with the sun in the sky, as if to cover all the sunlight. Everyone was taken aback for a moment, and then everyone saw it. As soon as the black ball appeared, the earth trembled. Countless clods of soil flew towards the black ball, and the huge gravitational force came, and the ground suddenly cracked, turning into countless clods of rock and soil, which flew into the sky and sucked them in. Faced with such a terrifying gravitational force, everyone seemed to be unable to control their bodies, to be sucked into the black ball, and to become a part of it. Immediately afterwards, Tiandao Pain folded his hands together and roared angrily, "Da! Planetary devastation!" Accompanied by Tiandao Pain's roar, Tiandao Pain's nose is full of blood, and the gravitational force of the black ball in the sky became even stronger in an instant. Countless clods of rock and soil flew over, forming a huge meteorite. The terrifying, obtainable, pupil power made Ninetales start to lose his footing and was pulled over. This be ************* D. You can actually use this trick. Ninetales looked angrily at the huge, meteorite-like, planetary devastation in the sky, and grabbed the ground with its claws, trying not to be pulled over. He knew that if he was sucked into that planetary devastation, the result would be to be sealed inside. But the gravity of the planetary devastation is too huge. The whole ground is lifted. Ninetales almost lost control of his body and flew out. Seeing the gradually condensed planetary devastation in the sky, Naruto snorted coldly. Full-body Susanoo shines instantly. Help Ninetales to stabilize. Then, I saw Naruto slowly pull out his Zanpakuto. Zanpakuto flipped the sky and pointed the knife point at the ground. Immediately, slowly fall. Immediately afterwards, everyone heard Naruto's indifferent voice gradually resounding. Bankai. Chapter 147. Bankai. The words fell. The Senbonzakura that fell to the ground caused the ground to ripple as if it touched a wave of water. Immediately, Senbonzakura's blade fell to the ground. Then, in an instant, countless tall blades rose from the ground, filled around Naruto. All the blades burst into pieces. As if falling and dancing, countless sakura flowers appeared across the sky, covering the sky. Sakura flowers slowly fall around Naruto, filling Naruto's side. Naruto's whole body is as cool and magnificent as if stepping on a sea of sakura flowers. Ninetales at the side saw Naruto's movement and hurriedly shouted, "Naruto, think of a way. If this continues, we will all be sealed by that thing." Ninetales glanced at the huge planetary devastation in the sky. At this moment, the planetary devastation had condensed countless clods of rock and soil, forming a huge shape like a meteorite. The huge meteorite fell across the sky, and it was still releasing a strong gravitational force, forcing everyone to attract it. Hearing Ninetales' worried voice, Naruto calmly smiled. His cold eyes looked up and landed on the meteorite. Immediately, with a wave of Naruto's palm, thousands of sakura flowers condensed into a white blade under his palm. Immediately after 707, everyone heard Naruto say lightly, "It's okay. Watch me break him." The words fell. Chakra broke out on Naruto. The vigorous chakra condenses behind Naruto, and thousands of sakura flowers are gradually approaching. Then, in an instant, all the chakra and countless sakura flowers formed a pair of wings, shining with white light behind Naruto. The wings are very wide, spread out for a moment, spread their wings high into the sky, rising slowly. Chakra on the bright wings is also burning like a flame. All I saw was that after the terrifying chakra condensed on Naruto's body, the huge power shocked the surrounding air. Immediately, everyone will see. Naruto's body is like turning into endless sword and tint. The straight body, after bursting out chakra, forms an invisible sharp sword like Naruto's body. The sharp sword bursts up and breaks through the sky, as if to pierce the whole world. As soon as that terrifying sword and tint appeared, the entire space was distorted. The sound of humming and trembling also sounded one after another. The next moment, Naruto swung his sword. The white blade buzzed across the sky. Naruto's eyes are also filled with sword and tint at this moment. Immediately afterwards, I saw Naruto's silver-white eyes staring coldly at the huge meteorite in the sky. That is, planetary devastation. The indifferent voice sounded majestic. Senbonzakura Kageyoshi. Final scene. White Emperor Sword. As soon as the majestic voice sounded, Naruto suddenly raised the blade in his hand. The bright sword is intended to shine on the blade in your hand. The wings on the back seemed to gather strength for the blade in Naruto's hand at this moment. Immediately, cut off the blade. The White Emperor's sword, which contains countless chakra and terrifying sword intent, bursts out suddenly. The White Emperor's sword, like a blade, pierced through the sky, slashed across the sky, straight to the planetary devastation in the sky. The moment the sword chi erupted, the whole air is buzzing and whistling. Moment. Boom. The White Emperor's sword suddenly slashed at the planetary devastation. The terrifying sword intent erupted. Just see. The huge planetary devastation like a meteorite. After being slashed by the mighty sword, it stopped moving with a bang, and the force of gravity suddenly disappeared. The whole Earth is silent. Only see. That planetary devastation, like thin paper, was cut into two by Naruto with one sword. The huge meteorite also disintegrated in an instant and shattered. Boom. There was a bursting sound. Tiandao Pain opened his eyes wide in shock, looking at the planetary devastation that was cut into two pieces in the air in disbelief. The depths of his eyes were full of unbelievable shock. That's the strongest way he can use Rinnegan's pupil power. A powerful, BHDF, power that can seal even a tailed beast. However, at this moment, the planetary devastation has just been condensed. It was cut into two by Naruto's sword. It just made him unbelievable. Rinnegan's strongest ability was actually cracked by Naruto at this moment. How is this possible? What shocked him even more was that he felt the terrifying sword intent just now. It made him feel the breath of death. It was as if he couldn't resist. As if that sword were to cut at him, he would be wiped out in an instant. Tiandao Pain lost his voice in shock. He couldn't believe it, and he couldn't believe it. Staggering back a few steps, Tiandao Pain yelled out of composure. No. Impossible. The planetary devastation was shattered. That's right. The planetary devastation at this moment is already shattering. The countless clods of rock and soil that had absorbed and condensed were also slowly falling to the ground. Planetary devastation has lost its power. Not only Pain, but also Ninetales, and even everyone in the ninja world who managed to survive was completely shocked by Naruto's sword. That White Emperor's sword. But all the power of Shinban Sakura is gathered. Concentrate all the power on one sword. Cut that sword out. Absolutely shocking. Weeping ghosts and gods. Even the planetary devastation unleashed by Rinnegan is irresistible. Even though Pain is so shocked now, he has to admit that the White Emperor's sword is terrifying. Immediately, Naruto exhaled, and the wings of his wings spread, turning into countless sakura flowers, flying towards him. Immediately afterwards, Naruto glanced at the shattered planetary devastation and then at Pain in the distance. His eyes were indifferent, and he said slowly, "It's over, Pain." 17 All of Pain's moves were cracked by Naruto. Even the strongest planetary devastation was smashed by Naruto. Even if Pain still didn't use Shinluo Tianzhong, even Super Shinluo Tianzhong would never be able to block Naruto's sword just now. What's more, Naruto has other means, and more whole cards. After Naruto finished speaking, holding Shinban Sakura in his hand, he walked towards Pain gradually. The sword light flickered and streaked across the air. Seeing Naruto gradually approaching, Pain also took a few deep breaths quickly to stabilize his emotions, and chakra erupted. At this time, suddenly, the space above Pain fluctuated. A man in a red cloud and black robe fell down. The man was wearing an orange Uzumaki mask, with a scarlet Sharingan under the mask, staring at Naruto closely, looking at Naruto's whole body. Apparently, this person is none other than Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Obito also saw the spectacular scene just now, saw planetary devastation, and was cut by Naruto with a sword. He was also very shocked. However, he had already planned, and quickly reacted. Uchiha Obito came to Pain, stared at Naruto indifferently, narrowed his eyes, and said in a low voice, "Unexpectedly, I still underestimated you. Even Pain is not your opponent." Chapter 148. Uchiha Obito suddenly appeared in the center of the battlefield, that is, in front of Pain, making everyone stunned. The surrounding ninjas immediately turned their eyes to Uchiha Obito one by one. Their eyes were very solemn, and they looked at Uchiha Obito nervously and apprehensively. In their eyes, this is an existence no less threatening than a tailed beast, because he called himself Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Obito also squinted his eyes, the pair of scarlet Sharingan slowly turned, the arc narrowed, flashing a strange blood color, staring at Naruto. After Naruto heard Uchiha Obito's words, he also frowned. Seeing Uchiha Obito appearing, Pain was stunned, and immediately stepped forward and shouted, "I can catch 9 tails?" When Uchiha Obito heard Pain's words, he frowned, snorted coldly, and said in a hoarse and deep voice that was unceremonious and merciless, "Enough, Pain. Your mission is over." What? Pain was taken aback, looking at Uchiha Obito in astonishment, not understanding what Uchiha Obito was talking about. 9 tails hasn't been caught yet, so why do you say it's over? 9 tails, who was the target, also opened his fangs at this moment, and his blood pupils were full of anger and hatred, staring at Uchiha Obito. Facing the gazes from all directions, Uchiha Obito did not panic at all. Instead, he smiled wildly and said, "Haha, look there." Everyone was taken aback, only to see Uchiha Obito suddenly raised a hand towards the courtyard. Following the direction of Uchiha Obito's finger, everyone soon saw that a huge monster slowly stood up about a few hundred meters away from them. That huge monster was just Geto statue who was repelled by Naruto just now, and was seriously injured, with a big hole in his body. It's just that Geto statue's aura at this time is extremely large, and the big bloody hole on his body has long since disappeared. The whole body has already returned to its original appearance. The injuries on his body completely disappeared. Seeing this scene, everyone opened their mouths in astonishment. Not only that, but under the Geto statue, there are 2 huge strands of chakra. That chakra was extremely blood red, like a flame, filling the sky. The breath of evil and hatred leaked from chakra, which Naruto felt very familiar with. Because, that's right, 9 tails chakra. How can this be? Naruto glanced at 9 tails beside him in surprise, and then looked at Geto's statue in the distance. 9 tails are still here. How come there is chakra of 9 tails at the foot of Geto's statue? Soon, what did Naruto think of? Golden Horn, Silver Horn. The 2 brothers of Cloud Shinobi were once swallowed by 9 tails in order to capture 9 tails, and survived in 9 tails' body by eating 9 tails' flesh and blood. Therefore, when it came out, it also had chakra from 9 tails on it. Did Uchiha Obito summon the 2 brothers' Golden Horn and Silver Horn? Then, Naruto narrowed his eyes and looked at Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Obito also laughed when he saw Geto's statue devouring 9 tails chakra, and the Scarlet Sharingan was full of self-confidence. Things seemed to be going as he expected, which made him very proud now. Immediately, Uchiha Obito laughed a few times and said, "Orochimaru really kept his promise." Then, Uchiha Obito looked at the surprised Pain, glanced at the shocked ninja crowd, then turned his head to look at Naruto, and said with a faint smile, "Why? Are you confused? Don't you think I can't complete the project without 9 tails? You underestimate me too much. The chakra of 9 tails is not only available on 9 tails." Uchiha Obito smiled grimly, as if the plot had succeeded. Then, Uchiha Obito was heard continuing. When Cloud Shinobi wanted to capture 9 tails, Cloud Shinobi's 2 brothers, Golden Horn and Silver Horn, were swallowed by 9 tails on the way to capture 9 tails. These 2 brothers, with special physiques, not only survived, but survived in 9 tails' body by eating 9 tails' flesh and blood, and thus, let them get the chakra of 9 tails. So, I've sent Orochimaru in pure world reincarnation out of these 2, waiting for the Geto statue to absorb their chakra. Although this is only the chakra that is part of 9 tails, it cannot revive 10 tails in the most perfect state. But it is enough. As long as they absorb their chakra, Geto's statue will have the power of all tailed beasts in his body. 10 tails, 2 will wake up. Asterisk, it's over. Uzumaki Naruto. The demise of the ninja world is doomed. Project Tsuki no Mi start. All I hear is Uchiha Obito's wild growl. Everyone was taken aback when they heard it. Before they could react, suddenly, the Geto statue in the distance suddenly heard bursts of roars. The roaring sound, like a violent sound wave, made everyone in the ninja world feel very stinging. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw that Geto statue had completely devoured the 9 tails chakra on Golden Horn and Silver Horn. The eyes on the forehead also suddenly opened. Seeing this scene, everyone suddenly realized. It turns out that Geto statue has already absorbed the chakra of other tailed beasts, leaving only 9 tails. And now, 9 tails chakra has also been successfully absorbed by Geto statue. At this moment, Geto statue already possesses the power of all tailed beasts. Geto statue also began a drastic change. All I saw was that Geto statue who was skinny like a tree, suddenly swelled up. Countless terrifying energies erupt from Geto statue. Geto statue, just like the source of chakra, countless chakra burst from Geto statue. Then, almost in the blink of an eye, Geto statue rapidly expands and grows bigger. In the end, it turned into a huge monster hundreds of meters high. After the monster appeared, it roared. The roaring sound made the whole earth tremble. Behind the monster, there are 10 tails. The 10 tails are like a symbol of his terrifying power, swaying at will. The original 9 eyes are even more condensed now. At the center of the monster, a huge and terrifying pupil is formed. Those pupils exude circles of ripples. Exactly, Rinnegan. And this monster is exactly what Geto statue formed after absorbing the 9-tailed beasts, 10 tails. 10 tails appeared also. Chapter 149. After the 10 tails appeared, they immediately let out a terrifying roar. The roar was like thunder, resounding through the ninja world. The entire ground will be shaken by the roar, and the mountains will collapse and the sea will crack. The earth will shake and the mountains will shake. All the ninjas panicked. They looked at the huge creature in the distance in shock and fear. That's Tatsuo. It is the scariest creature in the ninja world. At this moment, chakra of 10 tails also broke out suddenly and attacked violently. That chakra, like several mountains, instantly suppressed everyone. Let every ninja feel unbearable and unbearable heavy breath. They felt the pressure. Tian Fan was panting heavily. The coercion of 10 tails is really terrifying. Each of them was so pressed that they couldn't breathe. The power of the strongest creature in the ninja world is so terrifying that they can hardly imagine it. It's just coercion, separated by hundreds of meters. It can make 097 feel so strongly. It's so unbearable. And 10 tails was roaring in the sky, and the pair of Rinnegans with goblins were looking up at the moon in the sky. At this time, the bright moon seems to be slowly stained scarlet because of the appearance of 10 tails. It seems to be foretelling the bad news that the ninja world will suffer next. Naruto also stared at 10 tails solemnly. He also didn't expect that 10 tails would be resurrected so quickly. Uchiha Obito appears to have a budget. He also heard from Uchiha Obito's words that Orochimaru should have formed an alliance with Uchiha Obito. The two brothers, Golden Horn and Silver Horn, also came out of Orochimaru in pure world reincarnation to help Obito successfully revive 10 tails. Unexpectedly, the power of 10 tails is so terrifying. Just the coercion makes everyone shocked. Naruto glanced at the ninja people in the distance, and then at Uchiha Obito. At this moment, Uchiha Obito is also laughing ferociously. As if to show that his plan was successfully held, 10 tails was successfully called out by him. Immediately afterwards, Uchiha Obito stopped laughing, turned his head suddenly to look at Pain, who was stunned, and laughed wildly. Pain, next, 10 tails will be handed over to you. Use your Rinnegan to control him. Pain was taken aback, frowned, and didn't speak. Only Rinnegan and Senju Hashirama cells can manipulate 10 tails. But why doesn't Uchiha Obito control it himself? Pain knows that Uchiha Obito has Hashirama cells and can also control 10 tails. And, apparently, Pain also seems to be completely unaware of Uchiha Obito's plans. Not to mention, Uchiha Obito would use the Gold Horn and Silver Horn 9 tails chakra as the final filling to revive the 10 tails. Uchiha Obito's actions exceeded Pain's expectations. Uchiha Obito saw that Pain didn't move, couldn't help looking at Pain, and smiled sullenly. Of course he knew that Pain was puzzled. I also understand that Pain is doubting him. Why not control 10 tails? The reason for this, only Uchiha Obito knows. He doesn't need to tell Pain, let alone tell Pain. Immediately, Uchiha Obito said, "Don't you want to complete the plan? Peace in the ninja world is at hand. As long as you control 10 tails, everything will be over. War will also be over." That's right. The power of 10 tails is beyond anyone's imagination. In the eyes of everyone, as long as you can control 10 tails, there is absolutely no one who can compete. That is the condensed 9-tailed beasts, an existence beyond the ninja world. Pain hesitated, but nodded anyway. After all, his goal is to achieve peace in the ninja world. Shock the ninja world with the powerful power of 10 tails. Let the ninja world. No more wars. Now, victory is at hand. Keep 10 tails under control, and his purpose is accomplished. Saw that Uchiha Obito asked Pain to control 10 tails, but he didn't. Naruto frowned, already guessing the reason in his heart. Familiar with the plot, He knew that Uchiha Obito's heart was cursed by the real Uchiha Madara. It is a curse seal that prevents Uchiha Obito from committing suicide and can control Uchiha Obito's life. Even can control Uchiha Obito. To keep Uchiha Obito from getting out of his grasp, be Ten Tails Jinchuriki early. Therefore, if Uchiha Obito wants to completely control Ten Tails, he needs to clear this spell and get rid of Madara's control. This is why Uchiha Obito did not control Ten Tails himself, but let Pin do it instead. Everything seems to be under the control of Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Obito has already planned everything. However, the moment Pain turned around, all I saw was that countless white Zetsu suddenly appeared on the ground. After white Zetsu appeared, he smiled ferociously. Deep in the palm, it suddenly turned into a sharp wooden spear. The wooden spear was not aimed at Naruto, but instead, it was aimed at the unsuspecting Heavenly Dao Pain who hadn't thought of all this. Immediately afterwards, the sharp wooden spear extended instantly. Puff! It directly penetrated the body of Tiandao Pain. Seeing this scene, Naruto opened his eyes wide. Pin's eyes widened. Even Uchiha Obito opened his eyes wide. None of them expected this scene, nor the sudden attack of White Zetsu. Not even Uchiha Obito thought of it. All this was beyond his imagination. All I saw was that after White Zetsu pierced Pain's heart ferociously, he turned his head to look at Uchiha Obito and laughed coldly. Obito, you are so naive. Haha, Madara-sama has long thought that you don't want him to be resurrected, and let us prepare everything. Uchiha Obito was taken aback. Before he could react, Pain suddenly shouted, Shinluo Tianjung. The huge repulsive force suddenly exploded, instantly smashing the surrounding white Zetsu to pieces. After shattering all the white Zetsu with the last chakra, Tiandao Pain's body also staggered backwards. The chakra on the body began to become disordered, and the clarinet also lost control of the body, as if it was about to burst. Although this is a corpse, Pain, whose heart was pierced by white Zetsu, can no longer support this body. Rinnegan is about to lose control of the corpse. Only saw that Tiandao Pain opened his eyes wide, couldn't believe it, and looked at white Zetsu around him unacceptably. Those eyes were full of horror. Fear of unknown plots also emerged, as if everything was beyond his expectations and beyond his control. 5.6 Everything now makes Pain feel unbelievable. It is also unacceptable. Immediately afterwards, Pain looked up at Uchiha Obito and yelled, This? What's going on here? Uchiha Obito was also stunned, and he didn't react. Not to mention, White Zetsu would actually do this. The Scarlet Sharingan was also full of horror and shock. However, at this moment, a huge conspiracy is slowly being revealed. Just when everyone fell into hesitation, amazement, overwhelmed, and fear of Ten Tails. Suddenly, at this moment, in the mountains in the distance, there was a mournful roar that resounded through the sky. That roaring voice was full of pain. It was also full of unwillingness. The sound passed through the battlefield and resounded in everyone's ears. Immediately afterwards, everyone heard this clear and unwilling roar. Heretic. Rinna Tensei Technique. Chapter 150. This voice, terrible, very loud, resounding in almost everyone's ears. After hearing the voice, everyone was taken aback for a moment, showing confused and puzzled eyes, not knowing what it meant. Only Uchiha Obito, after hearing this voice, opened his eyes suddenly. The pupils are full of disbelief and horror. He seemed to have foreseen what would happen next. I also instantly understood why White Zetsu did that just now. It turns out that everything is for this. Heretics, Rinna Tensei. Uchiha Obito can't believe it. He never expected that after careful calculation to this step, the plot would be reversed at this moment. All this was beyond his imagination. It exceeded his expectations. It's beyond his control. He never expected that it would happen at this time. Such a thing would happen. Uchiha Obito, with a look of disbelief. I only saw that after the shrill and unwilling roar sounded, an extremely terrifying chakra suddenly awakened in the distant 17 mountains. That chakra, like the ancient giant dragon of thousands of years in the abyss, is slowly waking up with a mighty momentum, instantly descended on the entire ninja world. When the terrifying chakra erupts and descends, the entire ninja world trembles. After everyone felt this powerful chakra, their faces changed immediately. This chakra's aura is comparable to the Nine Tails just now. It's even stronger. Who the hell is this? There is such a strong breath. Naruto also narrowed his eyes. He has already guessed the identity of this person. I'm afraid this person is Uchiha Madara. That's right. This is exactly Uchiha Madara. It was Black Zetsu who suddenly attacked Nagato, who was controlling Pin at this critical moment, controlled Nagato's body, and launched this Rinnegan's forbidden technique, Outlaw Rinne Tensei, used to revive Uchiha Madara. And after this breath erupted, a figure also suddenly sprang out from the mountain range. Like a shooting star, it streaked across the sky with a bang. It descended on this battlefield. The huge aura is located, and the ground of the entire battlefield can hardly bear such a huge and terrifying chakra and aura, and there is a loud bang. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw the true face of the meteor that struck. It was a figure, a black-haired figure. Not only did this figure have black hair, but he was also wearing a red leather armor. His majestic expression was not concealed by the Kangwoo face. His whole body showed his noble status. This person is exactly what Naruto expected. Ninja legend. That's scary, man. Uchiha Madara. Seeing the appearance of Uchiha Madara, everyone present was stunned. Surprised, shocked, and unimaginably horrified expressions appeared on their faces. Because, how familiar are these two faces? Even if they haven't met Uchiha Madara himself. But how can they not have heard of Uchiha Madara's fame? How can they not have heard of Uchiha Madara's deeds? That is a man who caused a sensation in the ninja world. The existence that makes the 5 major countries fear. The familiar round fan logo and familiar clothing made Chunin, who was present, recognize it at a glance. This is Uchiha Madara. But, if this is Uchiha Madara, who is the other person? Everyone can't help but look to Uchiha Obito in the distance wearing an orange Uzumaki mask. In an instant, they suddenly realized. At this moment, they finally understand. This is the real Uchiha Madara at this time. What appears before you is the real god of the Uchiha clan. The real Uchiha Madara appeared. After Uchiha Madara landed on the battlefield, he raised his head, and his eye sockets were very empty, like a black hole. At this moment, Uchiha Madara has no eyes. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. Before they could react, Uchiha Madara suddenly said, "Oh, the plan has finally started. I'm finally resurrected." The indifferent voice sounded, causing everyone's hearts to tremble. All the ninjas in the ninja world stared at Uchiha Madara with serious eyes and nervousness, wanting to see what Uchiha Madara was going to do. They never expected that the person who had been dead for decades would actually be resurrected at this moment. Uchiha Obito also had a serious expression on his face. Although he called himself Uchiha Madara, he started planning with Madara's will. But seeing the resurrection of the real Uchiha Madara at this moment, he didn't seem to be as happy as he imagined. On the contrary, he felt very troubled. The blind symbol of Uchiha Madara seemed to look up and said, "What time is it now, and where is this place? Did Nagato resurrect me?" No one responded, and no one dared to answer Uchiha Madara's words. However, at this moment, Madara's feet suddenly squirmed. A black figure emerged from the soil. The figure was so black that it seemed to be a mass of black shadows. However, from his ferocious fangs and terrifying eyes, it can be seen that this person is conscious. This person is exactly Black Zetsu. After Black Zetsu appeared, he looked at the newly revived Madara, smiled coldly, and said, "Master Madara." Hearing Black Zetsu's voice, Uchiha Madara nodded and said, "Hey 083, thank you for your hard work, finally resurrected me." "Who resurrected me, Nagato or Obito? Where are they?" Madara issued a series of questions. Black Zetsu smiled coldly after hearing it, and said immediately, "Madara-sama, under my control, Nagato cast the Rinne Tensei technique to revive you, and you are very weak at the moment. As for Uchiha Obito, he did not follow the final plan and wanted to revive you." After hearing what Black Zetsu said, Madara was taken aback for a moment, but he quickly realized and nodded, as if everything was in his expectation. "Sure enough, I guessed right. Thank you, Black Zetsu. Where are my eyes?" Black Zetsu smiled grimly and raised his hand. "Spread your palms." All I saw was a pair of Rinnegan's eyes in Black Zetsu's hands. Those eyes, exuding fluctuations, look very miraculous. Uchiha Madara also seemed to be aware of Rinnegan's fluctuations, pinched Black Zetsu's hand off, touched Rinnegan into the palm of his hand, and pressed it on his eyes. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw it. Uchiha Madara's tightly closed, black hole pupils, when they opened again, a new pair of pupils suddenly appeared. And those pupils are actually the eyes of the legendary sage of 6 paths, the supreme pupil technique in the ninja world. Rinnegan. Uchiha Madara. With Rinnegan.
Thanks for watching. You can find the next videos in the playlist linked in the info card, directly on my channel, or right here on the screen. And as always, if you have any feedback, feel free to share it in the comments too.